Hi, welcome to DreamHack, where we are out front of the Wormwood and Level Up Dice booth, who is sponsoring this wonderful opportunity for us to play some Dungeons and Dragons. And one of the things that we're going to do here after we introduce ourselves is kind of give you guys a little idea of what a Session 0 looks like for our group here, which will catalog maybe a different way to create a character from the ground up, with their backstory actually being at the forefront of what they become. And then, if you stay with us tomorrow, after the session, you'll get to see a full session around that. So, go ahead, buckle in, and meet the rest of our wonderful players here. We start over here with Justice.
Hi, my name is Justice. I do a lot with Level Up Dice. I'm the operations manager, and this is my first time on stream, so go easy on me.
All the pressure.
Hi, I am Diana. I am also from Level Up Dice. I handle our social media. This is my first time on stream too, so.
Hello, my name is Katie, and I am excited to be here. This is not my first stream. I'm a cast member of the D4 stream, and I am really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out.
Hi, I'm Emily. I am also from Level Up Dice. I'm the corporate manager. And I don't have a number of how many times I've been on a stream, but it is a time I am on a stream.
And my name is Rudy. I am the co-author of Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, which coincidentally is where our game will be set. And I'm a video game writer, voiceover actor, all that other stuff. But that's not quite as important to the stream as your backgrounds, which are not necessarily about Level Up Dice. They're more so about your greatest sin. I like that. We're going to take a quick, brief break here from one of our sponsors, and they're going to fly in some attachments to the beautiful Wormwood table that we're playing on.
Hey!
How wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
That is
I'll take it.
awesome.
Oh yeah, okay. No, that's fine.
First.
Why don't
I don't care.
DM is
Wow.
more important.
that snapped in real
That's how you
tight.
get points with the DM.
That is amazing. Ew.
All right. So now, the one thing that we're going to start with here, I asked you guys to prep, and only to prep, what your characters, or a couple of ideas, I suppose, for your character's greatest sin. And what we mean by that is, what is that secret that you have that you don't want anybody else to know? That, for players at home, people looking to create campaigns like that, that actually colors and shades every interaction that the characters will have. Because this sin, we're actually going to workshop at the table here. This is not going to be something that the character comes with and they're dark and brooding and they protect this thing. Every other player will know what that sin is, not the characters, right? So here's a difference in knowledge. This is a good lesson on that part too. But you guys are specifically going to know what it is about, what your great sin is, what that secret is, individually, and your characters will get to discover it over the course of things, which is a really good way to kind of like set up the opportunities that we have for you to create meaningful role play while we're in like a one-shot, right? There are other ways to do that too, which I will kind of, which we'll handle next session, which is tomorrow. So tune back in tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Let's see. I think that's like 10 o'clock if you're in Berlin for some reason.
Time is hard.
Time can be hard.
Specific.
So let's get started with that. Who wants to begin with workshopping their sin? Who wants to put forward their first feel of it? Yeah?
I'll go first.
All right, go for it.
So you want the secret to begin?
Go ahead and give me your first one, because I asked everybody to come with like 2 just in case somebody else came with one.
I totally have 2. So the first one is that my older brother got a lot more attention than me growing up, and we were climbing trees in the backyard, and I damaged the limb I knew he was going to use for purchase to try to spite him. he fell and ended up being basically can't walk. So all the family hopes that were placed on him got kind of shifted around based on that, and he doesn't know that I basically sabotaged the tree for him, and I will never tell him.
And okay, so you made a selfish choice to take over something, and you basically made somebody else pay the price for it.
Yeah, because
These are
I was
good.
envious of what he
Yes.
had. Yeah.
Now, what was that thing that you were, that maybe the event that was coming up, or what was the coming of age thing for him that you're going to get slid into?
He was going to go into the army and get all the glory for the family.
Okay, so in Karnath, there is conscription, and there is no real sexism in the way that, like, they don't care if you're male or female, right?
Right.
So what would have prevented you from going into the military anyway?
Because my family needed me to stay behind to help with the business, so I had to just basically stay behind and be a shopkeeper, which didn't seem quite as exciting.
Oh, okay. All right. So then, let's take that a little bit further,
Yeah.
and let's say that there was a fencing competition
Okay.
that he was going to be able to take, and it was kind of like, if he wins the fencing competition, you go in as an officer,
Cool. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, you don't win the competition.
Of course not.
I mean, it's predicated on a pretty selfish act, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you still get enlisted. You still conscribe. You're still conscribed. You're still becoming enlisted. But people will know that you're the person that you did not win the competition.
How shameful. Got it.
So then we already attach a little bit to that.
Yeah.
And then maybe this is something that gets to have layers on it if your companions ever find something like that out.
God, I hope not.
Okay, so I like that.
Great.
So in order for you to do that, you would probably be one of the 3 primary races in Karnath, which are pretty much going to be human, dwarf, or halfling.
Yeah.
So ponder that. We don't have to decide it right now. I'm going to have you guys roll for your stats first.
Great.
But from there, good. Next.
I'll go next.
Go for it.
All right. Eltricia was a member of House Medini. When she was young, she started having just strange visions when she would sleep of things that would sort of come to pass. One night she had a dream about her grandparents, who were the matriarch and patriarch of the family, meeting an untimely end. And she woke up, realized that if this did come to pass, her parents would be inheriting the position within the city they lived in of running the family. So she never told anybody about the portent that she saw. And this encompasses the sins of envy and greed, because she wanted the position for her family so that she could one day have it. She has a habit of engaging in embarrassing and undermining her social rivals by relying on these dreams that she has every so often. She's very wrathful when she goes after them and attempts to socially ruin them completely so that they're no longer competition to her.
Okay, so I'm going to point something out.
Yes.
And then I'm going to twist it.
Okay.
So number 1, you went ahead and said House Madani,
Yes.
which means that you've already selected a race, which is typically a no-no for what I gave you guys in this thing. However, what I like about this is you started talking about dreaming.
Yes.
Elves, granted this is a half-elf, but
Yeah.
elves don't typically dream.
Right.
I like the idea that maybe you were meditating.
Okay.
And these are actually your thoughts.
Yes.
And to make yourself feel better, you call them dreams, but you're really just a jerk.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
So I think for now, we'll allow where it sits, but maybe depending on other backstories, the half-elven blood or the elven
Yeah.
blood of it will finagle.
Massage and adjust.
Right.
Got it. All right.
But otherwise, well done.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
I'm waiting.
All right. So my character, coming into this world, she already kind of made some mistakes, and her mother died in childbirth. She also shares a birthday with her cousin. Yeah. And growing up, her cousin didn't receive quite the same tough sort of rap that she did, having killed her mother. So my character reached adulthood and decided, you know what, if my cousin's going to have a better life than I am, I'm just going to take that. And has been impersonating and assumed the identity of her cousin for the past 4 years.
Okay, so number one, I'm assuming this is almost like a Tyrion-style situation
Yes.
here, because you're like, killed my mother.
Yeah.
I prefer the sins to be a little bit more active, but I suppose killing your cousin to do it. So then you were like an identical twin?
Yes. Yeah.
An
Very
identical
close.
cousin? Fraternal cousin?
Similar enough. You know,
Similar
I was
enough.
a background character in my youth, so no one really paid attention to what I looked like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then who was it that was being hard on you?
My father.
Did you kill your father too?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You want to roll for it?
Do you want me to roll for it, Dungeon Master?
I mean, I would say that you just,
I just went on a spree.
take the damage and be like, yeah, they were together. Maybe you uncovered something. I don't know. Anyway. That's fine by me. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that great sin is, to boil it down, you killed your cousin and
It
have
was a
assumed
sin
the
of
identity of your
jealousy.
cousin.
Yep.
What was this thing that is so much better that your cousin is getting besides like fond treatment from your father, I suppose?
Well, my cousin was going to be celebrated joining the ranks of the military. Our family is, of course, very excited about it, much like everyone in Karnath, because it is an honor to serve in the military. And it was celebrated for her, and it wasn't for me.
How do we get around her parents, who would not be your parents?
They live further away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm into this ruse. Temporary.
I didn't say it was a great plan.
Hey, I'm into it.
Assuming someone's identity is never a solid.
No, and the more flawed that our situation is, the easier it is for it to come to light.
I assume I'm going to break down at some point and make a mistake, so it fits with the character backstory.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right. Embrace the mistakes.
There are no mistakes, only happy accidents.
That's exactly right. There are no critical failures, only happy failures. Happy criticals?
I don't know how true that is. Yeah.
I was a soldier.
Already?
Yes,
Okay.
but not for Karnath.
Oh.
For a different nation.
Which
a
one?
neighboring nation. Thane.
Okay. Thrain.
Thrain, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very zealous of you.
Yes. And I was in one of the border patrols. We were a fairly famed legion within the army. And I'm not a coward. Let's be very clear about that. I'll go toe to toe. I'll swing some swords, what have you. But I don't like to.
Okay.
I like to get out of it if I can. If latrine duty's coming up, I'm gonna find a way to get out of it.
All right.
Late night guard duty, it's not really my thing.
Sure.
Which happened to occur. I got hit with the dawn patrol, and I couldn't get out of it. Try as I might, I couldn't get out of it. So I said, sure, I'll do that. It's been quiet on the frontier for a while. I gave my relief. I waited till he made it back to his tent, and then I crawled in the bushes and went to sleep. Right at dawn, when the sun is in that twilight's at night, pre-dawn, that dusky time, right? We were attacked. The first I knew of it, as the I should have known before this,
Right.
The first I knew about it was the screams, and my unit was massacred to a man. Every single man and woman was murdered. I stayed hidden. I didn't go help. But now I'm faced with this dilemma. What do I do? So I stabbed myself a couple times, some self-inflicted wounds, and managed to get my way back to the closest outpost, where I was actually lauded as a bit of a hero for surviving the massacre. I didn't say anything. I went with it. Yeah, and there was a point where I couldn't deal with it anymore, continuing to play that part, and so I defected from the military and made my way to Karnath.
Okay. So you deserted, made your way to Karnath, and then struck a deal with somebody in order to...
Deserters aren't really, people don't like them generally by
Yeah.
far. So I covered that part up for the most part, but as important as military service is in Karnath, I knew that would be the best way to gain citizenship and get into the nation as a citizen and not have to deal with some of the past stuff.
Okay. So originally I was thinking like soldier as a background, but I think you actually need to have something that gives you like the ability to forge documents.
Okay.
So maybe take a look at some of the ones that are in there, like maybe the Charlatan or something like that.
Okay.
Because everybody, we're going to need to have a background that kind of fits that backstory a little bit. And then I think the safest bet for you is probably going to be human. Dwarf could also work really well, but Thrain, especially if you're going with Thrain, very pious-ish, unless you get into the higher ranks, which we all know how that works in the church. And you get up there, you're pious, so maybe think about that as a direction, okay? Have the rest of you kind of taken the backstory that you've given me and thought about what background might be assigned to that? It's cool if not. Ponder it. You all have D&D Beyond in front of you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you can look down the list of backgrounds. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and let you roll for stats.
Great.
And then we will do race selection after that.
Cool.
Okay? So how we're going to roll for stats is we're going to roll 5 D4, re-roll 1s. Wait. The other one piece of that is you have to pick right now whether you're going to start at strength and chronologically go down, or not chronologically, but procedurally go down, or if you're going to go charisma and go procedurally up. That's the caveat to getting to roll. You don't get to pick where the stats go.
Okay.
I'm gonna start charisma.
Starting with charisma.
I'm starting strength.
Strength.
Starting charisma.
Charisma?
Strength.
All right, so we got strength on the outside, charisma on the inside.
You said re-roll ones. correct?
Re-rolling your ones.
You said 5.
Yeah, 5d4. You have to tell me as you roll them.
13 for charisma.
I got a 16.
16 in your strength.
Yeah.
13 in charisma.
17 strength.
17, so all right. These are actually really starting out pretty well for you.
Math. 1 second.
Are you mathing?
12 plus 5, 17. Yeah, there we go.
5,
Oh no, that's not what I want.
13 wisdom.
Yim?
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still waiting for the character sheet to load. Sorry.
3. That's a lot of ones. 13 in wisdom.
Dex. Math.
What is your dexterity going to be?
14.
14. Wow.
10. Holy cow.
14 in intelligence.
What was it?
All right.
An 18
18?
for intelligence.
I'm guessing since you're writing it down, I'm not going to futz with this right now.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Okay, so I told you 16 for strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe, you know, like this is something I'm workshopping here. Maybe in the future you can re-roll 1/1 per stat, but right now I'm okay with it.
I'm appreciative of it because I just rolled like 15 in a row. So thanks.
Wait, what?
I just rolled like a lot of ones in a row.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not necessarily what we were looking for, but that's okay.
Rudy, my next one was 13.
For Dex?
Sure, whatever's after strength.
Okay.
I have a 14 con.
What's after Dex?
You're on con next.
13.
I had a 14 for intelligence. And a 13 for constitution.
Yeah, these are really high.
19.
If we roll a 1 twice with the same die, do we get to re-roll?
So I wasn't expecting, like, that's not what it was my intention, no, you only get to re-roll them once, but I kind of started off with letting everybody else do it, and it's a one-shot, so I don't care.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, I'm happy to roll
I
some
would
crappy
prefer-
numbers.
Huh?
I'm happy to roll some
No, I would always prefer that we have at least one negative, so what I'm going to do in this scenario is after you do it, we're going to roll a d6, and that one is going to drop all the way down to an 8.
14 for my next one.
Little
Dex
fun
14.
caveat. Okay, Dex 14. Yeah, because these are super, super high.
Oh,
God.
12 for end?
Yep.
Okay.
14. I haven't done that.
All right.
13 for my next.
Wisdom?
Yes, so one more.
All right.
Chaya.
15 strength.
All right.
16 strength.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do this D6 thing.
Yep.
16.
16
All right. So now, take a D6. Strength will be a 1. Charisma will be a 6. Whatever you roll is going to drop to an 8.
Oh, no!
Strength.
Strength?
You know, the thing I rolled first.
Charisma. My first roll.
At least that was your 13.
Yeah. I am not a charming
Wisdom.
person.
All right. Now, have you guys thought of names? I like to make it to where names are nobody has the same first letter of a name.
Uh-huh.
That way we avoid anything that might sound similar, especially with all this excess noise.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, we're in a large gaming hall. I'm sure there's plenty of DreamHack streams around. You can kind of get the massive space that we're in. And our, shout out to our audio and tech people over there. Mr. Butters doing work over there. Who's got a name?
Roland.
Roland?
Eltricia.
Wait, what?
Eltricia.
Tala.
Fiona.
All right. Now with that, the way we're going to do class selection is going to be basic training style. So you will be participating in certain events, and based on how you do in those events, you will have the opportunity to select a certain number of classes. Okay? Once a class has been taken, it will be off the board. All right? Okay, so the last thing that we have to pick before we move into that is what races that you guys are going to go with, or species as I prefer. But
Human.
human?
Yes.
Am I good with half elven?
Sure.
Awesome.
Dwarf?
Dwarf.
Stick with human.
Okay, I like it. So Tala is a dwarf. And for right now, and I know this isn't going to work too well with D&D Beyond, but right now you all have 4 hit points plus your Constitution modifier.
I'm going to have to switch to my phone for D&D Beyond because, of course, as soon as I say that,
Nobody likes to be ignored, Justice. Okay. So to recap for everybody at home, what we did was we started with their backstories, which were very specifically about some selfish sort of act, because sin can get a little biblical, but some selfish act that you did that it cost somebody else something very dear, and you did it for your own benefit. Whether or not you actually ended up benefiting from it is up for debate. However, that was what we started with. After that, we had the characters roll 5d4. You can re-roll. We let them go a little bit more crazy with this, but a good way to do it is to let them re-roll 1/1 per stat. And start either with strength or charisma and go up or down, depending. But do it directly through, that way you don't have a full amount of control.
Can I just see mine so I can write mine?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Here, everybody can look at their thing to make sure I spelled, whatever names that you selected correctly. These are going to be my quick notes, and also, it's a good thing you guys all rolled super high on dexterity, because
What?
I do random initiative, not roll for initiative. So I will just be shuffling them.
Nice.
We probably won't have to go into a lot of that this time, but that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. As you make your way from your hometowns to what would essentially be MEPS for anybody that's military, but to the in-processing portion in each city, you are then quickly selected to be put on a caravan, and from that caravan, condensed down and heading south towards Fort Bones in the southern reaches of Karnath, known for its very exclusive training programs, which you all must have tested very, very smartly. Known for that, and also known for being the main defense against the elves that would come from Valinor up to make the attacks on Karnath during the last war, and also from anything like dinosaurs, etc., that live in the Talinta Plains. That's essentially the charge of Fort Bones. Unbeknownst to you at the moment, is that it is also a place where they conduct some certain specific field research. We'll get to that stuff later. But on this caravan, you make your way over the crest and into the flatland, where the recent powdery snowfall has covered the road, but made a very interesting vision, if you will, of the bones that are stuck up almost like a rib cage that has been battered, maybe broken and bruised. And as your caravan moves through the road, you can hear and feel the bumps, which would normally be considered stone or something. But as you can feel the churning and crunching underneath the tires or the wagon wheels, and the snow displaces in their wake, leaving behind a little bit of a muddy trail, you make out what you see to be different forms of bones along the road behind you. In the distance, over the next hill, you see the pale ivory coloring of Fort Bones, which is known to everyone in Karnath as the fort that was rebuilt using the broken bodies of Karnath's enemies, who were foolish enough to try and raid the interior.
Well, I mean,
So-
that sends a good message.
Absolutely. So, as you make your way in, you see the large bone portcullis raise, beckoning you inside the courtyard. as the wagon circles up. It's only about maybe 5-6 seconds that you have to take in the interior walls, which are made of stone, and some of the interior lying buildings like the stable and what you can only assume is a chow tent, etc. Before you are hurried off of the wagons and greeted by the gruff, seemingly always angry tones of drill sergeants who are not afraid to snatch you by the collar and toss you off should you dawdle. As you make your way into a formation, a straight line across, you are then ushered inside the first bit of warmth that you've had within the in-processing, we'll call it it looks like a cathedral. So perhaps this was at one time a church or a cathedral to the blood of Vol. But in recent years, practice of that religion has not only been lost as the national religion of Karnath, but mostly it is now forbidden, as the necromantic arts that Karnath used to really lean on are being phased out, and also in favor of recruiting new Warforged to fight on the front lines instead of the legions of undead. They're not foolish. Karnath is known for its major military mind, so they're not phasing them out entirely, but they're not necessarily making any more. All right? And with that, you are ushered into this large open space, greeted by the first warmth you've had since the weeks of a journey that it took to get down to Fort Bones. And you make out on a parapet in front of, like at the top of a stage, a parapet with a blonde, tanned complexion, very, very young, maybe gauge about 18, 19 years old, cadet, standing atop the parapet with a large tome in front of him. So, who wants to give me, actually I'll say this, you all know very, very quickly by just taking a look at this person, he is not a Karn, okay? But the uniform he's wearing, the insignia that's on it, marks him as a cadet of Reckonmark, which is the premier location in all of Corvair for military training. It is in Karnath, and other countries typically send their nobles to learn how to become a military officer. Think about it like West Point, okay? And with that, you shuffle in. He beckons you forward individually, one at a time, and says, looks first to you and says, name?
Roland.
Roland what?
Roland Highgarden.
Highgarden. You have papers for that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And did you already pick a background with a forging kit?
I have not.
Okay, let's assume that you have proficiency in that.
Okay.
We're still going to do the standard +2 proficiency that you would normally have. I just don't want to deal with the mess of making that a 1 or something. But go ahead and roll me a check for forgery to see how good your papers are.
That's a 16. And forgery, what modifier would that be?
Let's call this one an intelligence check.
So 17 plus.
And then proficiency is 2, 19. So, as you defected, it was very important for you to make sure that you had very good documents. You probably, let's say, procured some from a local farm or something like that, like a farmer that was on the way up to one of the major cities where you were called to enlist. Maybe it's by happenstance that Roland Highgarden was supposed to enlist, and you just happened to have the papers that lined up with that.
How convenient.
How convenient. But your role was very good, so without a second glance, he's like, yeah, okay. Hair color.
Sandy blonde.
Sandy blonde. All right. Height?
6'1" and a quarter.
All right. Eye color?
Green.
Weight?
180.
He looks you up and down. Give me a deception check.
Hey, that's a charisma, right? I have a negative modifier there, so less than 8.
Less than 8. Okay, so he kind of looks you up and down and he goes, 225.
I don't know about all that.
Don't worry, we'll make sure to get you fed. All right, looks like it's good. So go ahead, private, shuffle over to the other set of bleachers over there. And you can kind of like see coming out of the line that there are rows of pews, as would normally be in a cathedral of sorts. And you make your way over, sitting down there next to the queue, sitting down on one of the pews. And who's next in the line?
Me.
All right. Name?
Fiona. My name is Fiona.
Fiona
Willoughby.
Willoughby?
Yes.
Papers?
Right. I have them. Here they are.
Yeah, okay, that checks out. All right, hair color?
It's brown.
All right, height?
Just over 5 feet.
Just over 5 feet?
5'1".
Okay, come here and stand next to the parapet.
I sort of shuffle over, absolutely like walking down because I'm terrified of being measured.
Okay. He kind of looks at you kind of like hunched. He like pulls out like a little horse crop and swats the small of your back, getting you to stand up tall. Roll me 2d6. Or let's actually roll me a d6 and a d12.
I got a 4 and a 2.
All right.
4'2".
You are 4'2".
Oh. I tried.
And you said you're human, yeah?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Quite positive.
Okay. Fine.
I think.
Eye color.
Blue.
Weight?
Sort of gray sometimes, I guess. 90 pounds.
Yeah, that checks out. All right. Go ahead and take a seat next to the other one. Don't let him eat you.
Right, thank you.
Next. Oh, all right. What's your name?
Tala Thul.
Tala.
Thul.
Tala Thul.
Yeah.
How do you spell Thul?
Thul. Thul.
I see.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right. Hair color.
Black.
All right. Height.
Also 4'2".
He looks down at you. Gauges you against. You might actually be taller than. All right. Eye color.
Brown.
All right. Weight.
I mean, about 150.
Flex for me. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and shuffle over to the other one. Would you protect the little one from getting eaten by the big one?
Sure.
All right, great. All right, last. Oh, you have pointy ears, I see. Okay, great. What's your last name?
Madani.
Madani. First name?
Eltrisha.
I don't want to break character here with that. Okay. Eltrisha, wait, Madani?
Yes.
You mean D. Madani, yes? So what's your family name?
I think that's incredibly rude, but Winlock.
Winlock?
Yes.
You know what would be rude is for me to leave Madani off of your paperwork. Show me your dragon mark. Lesser dragon mark, I see, yeah, okay. If it isn't clear to you, I'm a noble. So while we might be parallel, I also outrank you. So take your rude comments and keep them to yourself, private.
Yes, sir.
Hair color.
Brunette.
All right, brunette. How tall are you?
5'8".
That checks out. All right, eyes.
Green.
Weight.
120 pounds.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, you can sit down now. Thank you, everyone, for serving your conscription in the great nation of Karnath. To be honest with you, I don't really care. I'm not from here. But Reckenmark seems to think it's a good idea for me to get field experience ushering new recruits in. So we will be going through just how well of a soldier you're going to be and what type of job you might get. Does anybody have any finishing schools or training or anything like that? Any background that I should be aware of leading into our training? And with that, you guys can go ahead and select a background. If it is one that is slightly shady, like his is probably going to be, you can lie to me or try. Who's ready? Go for it.
House agent.
That's easy. Okay. So essentially we're going to call that a house scion,
Okay.
But that just makes me distrust you more.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and so you've got that kind of settled up. So he's like, so what kind of training have you been through as an agent of your house?
Well, given my position within my family's ranking, I have had a great deal of etiquette training, which I employ when it seems appropriate. I've had training with finances, and I've had a great deal of education in matters of literature and science.
So I suppose the main thing that we need to work on is not necessarily how much decorum you know, but when to apply it.
I suppose that could be argued, yes.
Let's also recall that we don't argue with ranking officers.
Right. Sorry, it's all very new.
He kind of like scratches behind his ear with the riding crop that he had, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm sure it is. Mind your betters." And then flips it back behind his back. Anyone else?
Guild merchant.
Oh, so you have a lot of practice sitting around.
My hands can be useful
With?
with making shoes and things that are similar to shoes.
Shoes.
Yes.
That will actually come in very handy, as you and your squad mates will likely wear your boots out quite regularly. Very good. Okay, I'm liking where that's going. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. No. Yes. I assume.
Yes, it fits me.
Right.
I'm a farmer.
You are presently a farmer?
I was a farmer. Now I'm a soldier.
Since I gave you the idea for, or the push through for you have like gotten the documents from a farmer, I'm gonna go ahead and say that with how good your forging role was, that you made the documentation also like very specific to a farming area closer to the southern region. It's gonna check out pretty well. So I'm not even gonna make you roll deception on that. I'm just gonna say well done on your previous role and the congruency of keeping that. That's solid. So okay, good job, farmer. What kind of skills do you have? What kind of farming did you do?
Just your basic farming.
What does that mean?
I helped out around the fields.
So you're a farm hand.
Right, I didn't own my own farm. Just a simple farm hand.
I see.
Hands, and I helped at the farm.
Did you just say you helps at the farm?
Right, as a farm hand.
I see. All right.
I helped bring in the stuff.
Helps to bring in the stuff, yes.
Yes.
I'm just making sure that we're consistent here, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, quite.
What else did you help in doing?
Small amount with the animals, a little bit of the livestock, but mostly I was just a strong back, and as the farmer liked to say, a simple mind.
I'm going to leave that one alone for now. Welcome. They fed you pretty well, yeah?
Yes.
Way to roll with it. Well, I guess that just leaves you.
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to help with some things. I've been a lot of places. I've traveled really far. I've sort of been everywhere.
So you're a traveler,
Yeah.
like
But,
a
like, far,
sojourner? Far. What is
Yeah.
far?
Like all over Karnak.
Have you ever been to Braylon? Oh, just Karnak. You've never
Yeah,
been to
but like
Braylon?
all of Karnak.
All of Karnak.
Yes.
Any specific states that you stayed in longer?
Really just moving from place to place. You know, I wanted to see everything, so I didn't stay anywhere too long.
We? Who's we?
Just me.
You don't have one of those personality quirks.
I don't think so.
You don't think so, or we don't think so?
I don't think so.
Maybe she has a mouse in her pocket.
Would you indulge me?
Yes.
I like the idea that maybe that wasn't a slip, that maybe you're trying to cover by saying I at this point, and
Yeah.
that we is actually how you refer very Venom-like to things.
Okay.
Why don't you roll me a wisdom saving throw? And since you have no class, you have
the
no
one I'm
proficiency
real
to it
bad
yet.
at. What? An 8 is what? A -1 modifier?
Yes.
That's a 3.
A 3.
That's a solid 3.
All right. So, if you would indulge me for the sake of fun here,
Yeah.
would you mind referring to things as we for the most part,
Sure.
but then trying to cover it up in certain areas and say I, like if you get caught?
Yeah, we traveled all over Karnath.
Cool.
All over, everywhere.
I just like that. So,
Flavor.
yeah. Thank you for indulging me.
Yeah.
We're going to let it pass for now. You did a good job covering
Sure.
the I afterwards, so we'll see how well you do remembering it, and I'll reward you along the way.
Thanks, DM.
Yeah. Maybe you'll say we at some point, and a monster will be like, where's the other one? I thought there was only one of you. It's an ambush. I'm out. All right. So, with that, you've all kind of discussed some of your background things. What I'm using that for, as you guys all probably know as veteran D&D players, was usually a lot of times we get stuck in this trap, especially in like Adventures League, where we're like, what you see is X, Y, and Z, and they have this and that, and you talk a lot out of character for it. So this is a way to get you rolling in character very early on with giving you the prompts. And since we're doing it almost like it's a census, there we have it. Very easy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now that you have, you all now have ideas of what your characters look like, and we've had a little bit of fun with putting that together. You four have now been put together as battle buddies. Which
great.
the lieutenant, well, cadet, sorry, which the cadet explains to you means that you are responsible for each other. So anybody that mouths off, anybody that messes up, etc., will be the one who is responsible for the group as a whole being punished.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize. What? Don't give me that look.
And I'm making a note for myself of a mechanic I just thought up that's going to be a lot of fun.
Can't we trade in the short one?
Sure, that's fine.
She'll do it. This one.
She's so
Keep
elegant,
your
though.
mouth shut.
This is what I'll do. Okay.
Don't let him push you around like that.
If you want to get through this, follow my lead.
Okay.
So,
Huh.
so what we're going to do here is I'm going, the cadet is going to march you into the Chow Hall after in processing. You see a big wide open space with a series of other like tables that are there available for you to sit and eat. And there's an assembly line with hot chow along the side. They make sure to double your portion. They skimp on yours.
Typical.
But you will now all have the opportunity to kind of get to know each other in a role play a little bit while I write out this mechanic as you sit at the same table with each other. Question is, who sits down first and who sits down last?
I'm going to sit down at the head of the table first.
There is no chair, they are benches. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no. I fall over probably because I rolled a 3.
A 3. You make your way up to the front of the table without looking, trying to rest solely on the haughty nature of your dragon-marked house. You walk over, go to sit down, and we pause as everybody else. Who's going to be the last one to sit down?
I'm bringing up the rear.
Okay. You going last. So as you guys walk over, you two go to sit down. You notice Miss Eltrisha? Letrisha or no?
Eltrisha.
Eltrisha. L apostrophe. Yes.
No apostrophe. but-
No apostrophe.
No apostrophe.
Just LTR.
L-T-R-I-C-I-A.
L what?
L Latricia. It's E-O here.
This is why I handed it to
Yeah,
you to
no,
correct.
I should
You're
have.
wrong.
Here.
I see. Oh, so like Electra.
Yes.
Electricia. Like electrician. Got it.
There's too many letters in that name.
E-L-T-R-C-I-A. T-R-I-C-I-A.
All right. As Eltricia steps over there and then turns just to look at both of you and proceeds to sit. Rolling back, you hear the smack of her back hit the ground and the tray fly up over, smattering on the edge of the tent, on the like the backside of the chow tent, and just kind of like clattering onto the cold stone behind her.
You missed.
You're late.
I'm sitting right here, right on time.
I'm gonna rush over. I'm gonna grab her by the scruff of her thing Pick her up, set her down, grab her tray, scoop the food off the tent, set it back down. Don't draw attention to yourself. Sit down and eat. Look at me.
I'm not eating that.
Trust me.
It's been on the tent.
If you don't eat it now, they're gonna make you eat it when they see it.
And why don't you roll me? Why don't you roll me percentile?
Okay.
50-50 chance here that the lieutenant comes up following up the rear and sees it.
61.
61. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, because I didn't say high or low, I just said one or the other.
Okay.
So, the lieutenant seems to be preoccupied talking to one of the ale distributors, if you will. I don't want to say, like, you know, something sexist like tavern wench. So, ale distributor, who has brought in the cast and is going to make her way back to town, one of those townies, doesn't seem to notice, and you all breathe this sigh of relief as you know that you have all escaped punishment for a moment. Now, you are left to your own devices as you eat chow and get to know each other a little bit while I finish writing this other mechanic.
So why should we listen to you? You seem awful pushy. You're a farmhand, right?
That's right. Farm's not unlike the military. You get told to do the task. If you don't do the task, people don't eat, people get in trouble. Do what you're told, keep your head down.
Well, how about you give me some of your food so I don't have to eat tent slop?
I'm gonna look you directly in the eyes and scoop a spoonful of my food into my mouth.
So the
Here,
whole
I
time.
have some of mine.
Thank you. What was your name?
Tala.
Tala. Tala. Thank you, Tala.
You're not
You
gonna
won't
want to
remember
see
that in 5 minutes, will you?
Probably not, but I'm gonna try.
All right.
I'll make an effort.
The whole time, since we've sat down, I have scooched, like, I put myself in next to where your character's sitting, and I have, like, scooched kind of closer to you. And I'm watching every bite you take off the plate, and what you go to eat, I, like, spear on my fork and eat with you. So when you do that to like, intimidate her, I'm behind him, like,
I think she likes you.
She just maintains eye contact with you, seeing that in the peripheral. And just
You're not gonna want that to go to waste in about a week. That hair's extra protein.
oh no,
Is it extra protein? It's, you take mine, I'll take that.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
and she'll eat. Thank you, Tally.
Yeah. Doesn't taste as good.
I or we?
We.
We. All right.
We.
Okay, so after you all finish up, actually, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
I don't know if I get proficiency with that for the Charlotte's, I don't believe so. That is
And then the rest of you roll me a sleight of hand check as well.
18.
18.
12.
12.
12 for me, too.
Hold on. I don't know. Is that dexterity? Or is it nothing?
Because we don't get any modifier to it, correct?
Well, sleight of hand, so if your
Oh,
background...
we are going to take. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
16.
16? Okay. 12. 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anybody that's been in the military, two of us have. So, anybody that's been in the military knows that when you're in basic training and you sit down for chow, you have until the last person who sits down finishes in order to finish your meal.
Okay.
Boyo here got an 18, which means that the three of you got close to finishing
Yeah.
your hairy
So good.
slop, but you two also did not finish. Now, I'm prefacing that to say, in the future, should we have Chow and you do not finish, there will be negatives associated to not finishing first.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, for realism's sake.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
thinking it.
All right. So, as soon as they notice, you're not going to get punished anything like that now, because obviously you didn't know in basic training they're not so bad the first day. I take that back. They are. I'm being generous. As soon as one of the drill sergeants walking up and down the aisles of other soldiers eating, as soon as they notice that you've finished, kind of looks at you, looks around to see who else is like paired with you as a battle buddy, and then points at your tray and says, "You're finished." That means you're all finished. Let's go. Report to the quartermaster now. Good. No lip out of you. That was fantastic. So with that, you guys hustle up, drop off your trays, and make your way to the quartermaster's office, where you are handed nice, neatly packed and wrapped uniforms of a kind of powdery gray.
Pretty.
Oh.
Some of you they have to measure and let out and or take in a little bit, especially around the biceps for somebody. And as they get you fitted with that, they let you know that you have this evening to go get to your bunks, take a quick or get settled in for the night, claim your bunk, and the training will start tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. So, with that, you guys make your way towards the barracks, and you have a moment to get to know each other again a little better without the watchful gaze of a drill sergeant over your shoulder.
Just to let all you guys know, I snore a little bit. I'm sorry. Just kick me and it'll stop.
What's the tent look like? Is it bunks? Is it one big bay? Is it
It's
a small tent?
It is a large, long, basically rectangular space tent with 2 rows of cot-like racks.
All single.
And a little foot locker in front of each one.
And we don't have any personal effects right now, right?
You, I would say that whatever your background allows is what you have going into this.
Okay.
But there is no lock on these foot lockers.
So what did you do?
Like just now, I just walked in and told you guys.
What did you do before you came here?
We traveled all over the place and we saw a lot of things. I've seen a lot of stuff.
You're doing the we thing again.
What we thing?
You keep saying we, so who is it?
Oh, I mean I. It's fine. I mean I. Yeah.
Yeah?
What did you do? What about
Well, I am a child of privilege, I guess you could say.
you? So you're a brat. Is that?
No. Well, okay, maybe a little bit, but it's deserved,
Oh, okay.
usually. Like, if people are rude to me, then I'm rude back, okay? Why are you just staring at me?
Let me tell you now, you better drop that, or you're gonna get all of us in a pile of crap. And I'm not shoveling for you.
I don't think you have to shovel anything. You're not on the
Why?
farm anymore.
Yeah.
It's a figure of speech.
I knew that. I definitely knew that. Which cot are you taking?
That one. Second one back.
I take the one right next to it.
Okay, I want to call her Baby Bird from now on.
You do whatever you want, and I like the idea that you're using more first person, like I,
Yeah.
instead of she and stuff like that. I like it when you guys are doing that.
Yeah, cool.
It feels like it's more organic to me. So which you want? So you're gonna take the bunk like all the way at the end,
No, the one, if he takes the one next to the end, I'm the one right next to that.
right? Did you want the one right on the end or the one?
One one in from the end.
I'll take the one on the end.
You both said that at the same
Yep.
time.
Well, there's
Sharon
two ends,
cut.
right? So
Okay.
there's two ends,
Flip a
right?
coin
So they
for
can
it?
both take the end.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Do you have any coins? Because I'm fresh.
You know.
There's about
fresh.
15 or so on each side, so this bay would be about 30. You don't have to sleep right next to the same person, but you can. The other thing that I should note here is that in Eberron, wealth is handled differently than in basically all of the rest of D&D.
That's right.
So if your background would have given you 15 gold pieces, those will be coppers. Okay?
Okay.
And some of the most wealthy merchants in Eberron will never have 10 gold on them at any given time. They try and keep wealth separated. They use banknotes, et cetera, a lot. So that the general wage for a soldier is probably going to be a silver a week, maybe. But just so you're aware before we start, before we jump into coinage and stuff.
Yes.
Is there anybody else in this bay, or is it empty?
Currently, there's a little pocket or two of other soldiers down the way, but they appear to be just as fresh off the turnip truck as you.
Look, y'all can sleep anywhere you want, but I recommend we stay together. I'm not gonna dictate.
I think that's a good idea.
Besides the bunks taken in the center, there is basically the whole other side of the tent that's available there.
Okay, I'll tell you what. You gave me your dinner, so you can have that bed.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're gonna be good friends. I can already tell.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So which one did you get?
The one right by the door, on the way in the row of 3 that.
Okay,
is now.
so you want the one right by the door?
Yep.
On his side or opposite his side?
On his side.
All right. God, I could make this even more like the military if I wanted to. With oh man. Okay. I'm gonna refrain.
All right.
I feel
Okay.
like we just got a blessing.
Yeah.
And where are you?
Dodged a bullet.
I'll take the other bed on the end.
Okay.
Across the aisle.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So as you guys put together your bunks, you kind of start to get the other stuff that you were handed at the quartermaster, which include they're not thick blankets, to be honest. They're more like itchy wool. But they seem like they might be warm enough. They're definitely nothing like what you would have experienced growing up. Mm-hmm. You would be very used to these. They might be a little thicker than the ones Thrain uses for the most part, as it's kind of warmer climate for the most part. You two probably had better stuff at home too. I don't know, unless either of you are specifically more destitute.
Mine was okay.
You were okay.
Yeah, you were all right.
They probably actually more Cinderella'd you, with your cousin being the ones that got all of the nice stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is a step up for you.
I mean, but not me.
But not you.
But not me.
Right.
But not
Fake
not
it however you want.
Yeah.
Nobody doesn't know who you're not. Or maybe they do know who you're not.
Who am I?
Or any of us.
Yeah, why?
The
Why are
eternal
any of us?
question.
So,
I'm
baby
gonna
bird,
start
what about
cleaning
you?
out my sheets.
What about me?
Where are you from?
From a nearby village?
Okay, sure. What did you do there?
Well, my family owns a shop, so
Oh, shopkeepers.
yes. Well, I also did some
Wonderful.
fencing, but
Did you?
yes.
Oh, can you show us some fencing?
I'm sure there will be plenty of time for that in training. There's no need to go into it right now.
Uh-huh.
Why do you keep looking at me like that?
Because I'm sizing you up.
What do you mean, sizing me up?
Well,
I mean, I need to understand how each of you have strengths and weaknesses if we're going to function as a group.
Oh, I'm quite small, so.
You are, which is actually really good for you because he's so big. You can hide behind him so easily. Am I wrong?
I love this dead stare. I wish I had a camera like right here that could just cut right across your...
I mean, that is an important aspect of being in a group, isn't it?
Hiding behind one another?
No, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Sure.
I mean, I see what
And
you're
you
saying.
look like a
It's-
very strong fellow who could take a hit or two. So wouldn't it be better if you got hit than her?
Not in my opinion.
So see, she should hide behind you for the safety of the group.
Your logic is flawed.
I don't see it.
I'm pretty sure we will all be hit equally.
Not
Probably.
if have
Oh, I
anything to
hope
say
not.
about it.
I thought we're in this together. We work together like a team.
I don't think that means we get hit together. The point is to not get hit.
Right. I knew that.
So let's avoid it.
Right.
If at all possible.
We will all be equally not being hit at the same amount together.
I agree.
There
We should
you
hide.
go. Good job, baby bird.
I'm going to exit this conversation and start making my bed because I don't.
Okay, you basically hear this, turn your back to them as best you can, and just start to make your bed.
Hospital corners.
Roll me a... I'm gonna call this performance. Anybody that's done hospital corners on beds.
Journey.
Oh,
First one of the game.
maybe I start to and then I just wad it up in a ball, throw it on the bed, and lay down.
Okay, all right, we'll start with that. What are you doing?
When he starts making his bed, I go to make mine, and I am attempting to do it really well, and then I see him do this frustrated wad throw thing, and I look to them to see if they're watching, and then I sort of it's like I want to make it look like I'm throwing it on the bed, but even I know that that's not what I'm supposed to do, and I'm torn. So I'm like, huh, and then I straighten it out so it doesn't look quite so messy, and
Okay.
I sit down.
Let's also call this a... Let's call this a performance check.
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the deception / it doesn't probably matter as much for them if they know what you're doing or not.
Yeah.
But,
15?
okay. What are you doing?
So I'm guessing that these beds are much larger than what I'm really used to, being 4 foot tall. It's a little bit longer.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to make the bed, but I'm basically just going to make up the bottom 3/4 of it because that's what I'm used to doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll me performance.
I am making my bed, and I'm doing it in a very elegant and splendid manner.
Okay.
Like the spoiled princess I am.
Being a spoiled princess, I'm gonna think that maybe you watched a servant do this a lot.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna
probably.
give you disadvantage on your performance check.
Fair.
It's performance charisma.
Performance would be charisma, yeah.
15.
15.
That's going to be a... Oh, ouch, an 11.
An 11. All right. And you got before like a natural 1, and charisma is like your dump stat now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. You got an I don't care. All right. So as you make your beds and kind of tuck in for the night, the sun kind of arcs down in the early-ish evening, considering the time frame that we're at, and you all go to take a restful slumber. Nobody's lost any hit points or anything that I'm aware of. Nobody's used any abilities that you might have had from your dragon marks or anything. So with that, the evening is over, You buckle down for bed. And is there anything that you do, like I'm kind of thinking of that scene, like as you're laying down, maybe something that you do in private, you know, with the shield of the darkness or the covers or something like that. This is a little bit of a character building moment.
She just sort of sets her hand on over her mark and just leans back against the bed, at the head of the bed, and closes her eyes and slips into meditation.
After everyone has settled down and it's dark and things have gone a little quiet, I get out of bed and kind of pad over to where your bed is and kind of stand there like I might get in. And then I go, no, and I go get back in my bed and lay down.
Was that because you couldn't see an open patch on the bed to lay down on, or was this a choice?
It was a choice.
Okay.
As soldiers are wont to do, and farmers, as farmers are wont to do, when you have a moment to lay down, you lay down, and when you have a moment to fall asleep, you fall asleep. So as soon as my head hits the not pillow, I'm out and snoring. So I don't see this.
All right.
I'm in the same boat as he is. We're gonna lay down and pass immediately out. Probably drool a little bit.
Sure.
Really loud snoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like a symphony, as you're not the only ones in this open tent kind of sleeping arrangement. You don't see more soldiers really kind of make their way into this one, more recruits, but you do. There is that big open area over there, but the ones that are there do snore a little bit. It does create a little bit of a symphony, which actually lulls some of the rest of you to sleep or into meditation, as you can just kind of focus and then zone it out.
It's like an ocean.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, okay.
It's like being in a cave of bugbears and just hearing that echo reverberate. So with that, the evening concludes, night falls, the wee hours of the morning, the sun, all of that. Since you're meditating, and I'm gonna go with this because even though you're a half-elf, and technically you shouldn't, we're gonna just rule that you do.
Okay.
Because in Eberron, half-elves are basically all in Corvair.
Yes.
So they actually refer to them as Corvair elves, not
Got it.
half-elves.
Got it. Okay.
Interesting, right?
I love it.
Nice little differences. I'm
Nice
gonna
little
keep
lore drop. I like
right
it.
because we have Eberron actually comes out today. This is the 19th,
We
yes?
timed that really well, guys.
Yeah?
Congrats.
I'm going to assume that was entirely intentional.
Absolutely.
And 15th.
You're
So
good at dates.
I'm asleep. And the 15th, this is great. So the 19th is when Eberron drops. It'll be up on D&D Beyond. Or if you order an advance copy, then you already have it. You can read along in certain areas, I suppose, and find this lore. But we're going to give you little lore drops throughout. Because I helped write it, so I know what it is. And it does make sense, right? Yeah, a little bit.
It's almost like you're an expert.
I don't want to go that far, but yeah. So, with that, I'm going to allow you, since you're meditating, and meditating typically is a 4-hour juncture, to give me a perception check, but since you are meditating, it will be a disadvantage.
Okay. Ooh, no. I think I actually have perception. No. So then that's going to be a... Sorry, I'm doing
okay.
math.
No worries.
That's going to be a 10.
A 10. All right, that's going to be good enough in your state of meditation for you to roll me a 1d4.
That is a 1.
All right.
Now I'm getting nervous.
And what was your perception check was a 10, right?
10, yes.
All right. So, as you are meditating and you've kind of like, something is stirred that kind of brings you a little bit out of that meditation for like a little bit. You don't really open your eyes, but you can hear some of the rustling around that's happening. And it sounds as if somebody is sneaking around inside the barracks.
Okay.
But with a 10, we're gonna say by the time like maybe you decide, like you really zero in on the noise and you decide, it's nobody's there, it's all pitch black.
Okay, this place isn't haunted, it's fine.
Not haunted as far as we know. It is a fort full of bones, but you zen yourself back into more meditation, and the night proceeds. That morning, you all kind of stir, waking up to seeing the lieutenant, or the cadet, I keep calling him lieutenant, the cadet standing at the tent flap, looking over you, and then, I don't want to yell because I don't know where the mic is and I don't want to kill Butters over there. Hopefully I can get a laugh out of him while we're doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't see you behind the screens, but
We want to make sure you're having a good time too, right?
so as the evening concludes, as the morning comes, the sun starts to like kind of crest up, and you can make out the silhouette and like the long shadow of the cadet standing there waiting, and then you just hear him go, and roll initiative. I know I said I do random initiative, but this is different.
Oh no!
We're doing. No, you don't
no.
do initiative bonuses.
You can add your dex to it.
Okay.
It's fine.
That's good.
9.
I'll actually say that you can add, if you would prefer, you can add your intelligence
I would
instead
prefer.
of dexterity.
I
Can.
would very much
You have the
prefer.
ability to. We'll say, May, you have my permission.
Still 9.
Still a 9.
19.
19? 18?
5.
5. So you two,
Pretty perfect.
It failed me.
so you two hear him look up and like pop out of your bed, you know, to snap to attention immediately. I'm not even gonna make you do, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, soldier, and say that your character, as a deserter from another nation, would know how to snap to attention. You pop up to the front of your, to like even with the cot, toe the line, snap to attention. You, also having that quick intention behind it, noticing, do like follow suit. I will let you give me a performance check at advantage. The two of you notice slightly later, and you can give me performance checks to mimic him, not at advantage. You got a what?
9.
A 9, you got a 5, you get disadvantage. Go ahead.
Fair.
18.
18, you snap to attention looking just as regal, chest puffed out.
Oh, all right.
17.
You nail it.
And what was this? I'm sorry.
Oh, this is performance check, so it's charisma.
Charisma. Yeah, that's a 10.
A 10. You actually kind of like amble up, kind of look, notice everybody else standing at attention. You look down towards the other end of the barracks.
Yeah.
Everybody else has snapped to attention, and you just kind of like, oh, okay, and kind of lean into it a little bit. It's what we'll call passable
Okay.
for now. And just so you know, this is meta. Because you all made a passable attempt, you won't be punished right now.
Hey.
Sorry, we don't call it punishment in the military anymore. We call it corrective training.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
wall-to-wall training.
Reinforcement.
Positive correction.
Oh. Yikes.
Okay. So,
Like a happy critical.
I'm in my undergarments, for the record.
I assume everyone is in undergarments or whatever it is that you went to sleep in specifically. The lieutenant kind of, you know what? He gets a promotion. He's a lieutenant now. The cadet lieutenant, hyphenated, walks over, stepping in front, coming first to you. His neck cranes down as he looks down. And did you sleep in your undergarments specifically, or okay? He goes, You should go ahead and get presentable.
Yes. Yes, sir.
We don't salute indoors.
Yes.
It's fine. Go ahead.
I knew that. I knew that.
Okay.
I go to my locker and get my clothes.
Okay.
And I put them on.
He glances at the rest of you. You're standing there in your tidy whities, I'm assuming?
And a undershirt.
In an undershirt. Okay. Yep. The rest of you can. What are you two wearing?
I'm just wearing underpants. There's nothing on the top half.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is, you know, like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that to everybody else's imagination as far as like a dwarf area here. Yeah. No, we're just okay. He kind of like glances down at you two and goes, "Mister, go ahead."
A nightgown.
Oh, that's cute. Okay. Get dressed. And meet me outside. You have 3 minutes. And he turns around, walks out.
3 minutes for what?
Get dressed.
To get dressed?
Put your clothes on.
I'm really hating my family right now.
It's really the night.
Do not
the
clap
color.
at me.
I don't have time for this.
I'm gonna like try to get dressed faster than him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've got a fun idea here for this. I gave you 3 minutes. Everybody roll me a d4.
Oh God.
A 1 is not going to be favorable for people.
One.
All right. So, as you two race, you got a 3? And you got a 2. So as you guys race to get ready, it's almost like you're keeping eye contact the whole time. It's weird. And you pull out, you guys hustle outside, and you're like, you get there, you pop to attention, you're first, you make up just like slightly after beating him to where the lieutenant's standing, and you actually have this almost uncanny sixth sense of exactly where you're supposed to go and stand, right? Because and the lieutenant kind of got like, the cadet lieutenant kind of like looks at you and goes like, "Have you done this before?"
Apparently farming is a lot like being in the military.
I wasn't talking to you. Why don't you drop and give me 10
10 what?
push-ups?
What?
Roll me a Constitution saving throw. Princess.
It's a 10.
10. That is going to be enough for you to bust out the 10 push-ups very shakily
Yeah.
and make it back to your feet. And he goes, and he looks at both of you and he goes, "Next time, it'll be both of you. Notice who I'm talking to and who I expect an answer from. Where are the other two?"
Getting dressed, sir.
Still?
I guess.
And then cut to the interior of the tent, the two of you like trying to like drag yourself on. You got a 1 and you got a 1, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you two kind of shuffle out of the tent, still trying to tuck in the underlayer, and like your jacket is like unbuttoned and open, and like you're just kind of like, yeah, and you kind of make your way to the line as you still it. And the cadet lieutenant goes, "I said 3 minutes, right?
Yes.
Do you know how long it's been?"
Three minutes?
Do you know how long it's been?
Not 3 minutes.
I will take that answer. And you will all drop and give me 10 push-ups now. Next time I ask you to be on time, I expect you to be on time. 10 push-ups. Let's go.
14.
14?
10.
10?
What kind of check is this?
It's a Constitution saving throw.
14.
14?
Oh, well, 16.
16. So you guys all get down, bust out those push-ups, pop back up, panting. Okay. And the lieutenant just kind of is walking up and down the ranks as he does. I've got to remember to just call him a cadet, because otherwise we're gonna get. I'm gonna be upset with myself.
It's going to be a different one each time.
Yeah, cadet. So the cadet makes his way, like just walking up and down, semi-berating you as he goes, as you guys are doing your push-ups. You pop back up, snap back to attention. You two kind of notice the way that they're standing, and you're like, oh, this is like inside. Okay, great. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And as you make your way up, he goes, all right, good enough, at ease. And the only person that knows, do you actually go to at ease, or what do you do?
No, I don't go all the way. I stop for a second based on his previous question, and I just drop my shoulders and stand casual.
I do exactly what he does.
I stand with good posture, just out of habit.
I stand, but I sort of flex my biceps just a little bit.
I want him to remember why I'm there.
Cadet kind of like he's walking down the row, and right now we're gonna say that since you two were the first ones, the row is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a big deal, but he walks his way down, he's like, he moves behind you, takes your arms, shifts them up into the position, kicks your feet to where they widen out a little bit. He goes, it's all right for you to bend your knees. If you look at this is called at ease. Now, there is also a very similar function to this called parade rest, in which you maintain your rigidity and the posture that you have. But at ease means that you can relax a little bit. So attention, at ease, and what was the last one I said?
Parade rest?
Parade rest.
Very good. Parade rest looks kind of like the child between attention and at ease. And he takes himself, straightens out, puffs his chest out, holds his hands in the small of his back, and his legs go from being more relaxed and kind of like sliding around to direct.
Okay.
Everybody got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. I will be quizzing you as we go, by the way. So, at ease, everyone. If you look before you, and he kind of steps out of the way, and what you see is essentially 2 long rows of stone, about 15 to 20 feet across, leading down a 15-ish, 20-ish foot, kind of like embankment of sand. One might think that this is used for like a sparring match, like a little area kind of like that, except for the fact that at the end, amble 2 slightly decrepit, somewhat hunched over zombies. One of them has his jaw kind of dislodged, just kind of barely hanging on by some sinew. He's kind of hunched over and just kind of staring about, but you notice that one of those eyes is directed exactly at the cadet. As if that's like his good eye,
yeah.
And he has to turn his head in order to keep an eye on it. You notice the other one that is kind of like bent up in this direction is a little milky white. Next to him is another zombie who's just kind of like bigger, like kind of a little broader, but is holding what looks like a bullseye, like an archery target. And he's just kind of like, holding this target right in front of him. They're paced about on the opposite sides of, like I said, it was about 15 to 20 feet wide and 15 to 20 feet long. They're basically on, like, splitting the difference between the edges. And then to the right of the pit, so the cadet has stepped off a little bit to the left. To the right, you can see that there is a long table with an assortment of weaponry, ranging from long swords, short swords, pole arms, ranged weaponry, knives, etc., sitting there on the long length of table. And he starts out by saying, what we are going to do now is test your aptitude, which will help us determine what jobs you might be qualified for here in the glorious army of Karnath. And you can see that he's kind of putting a little bit of not irony, but like a little bit of like disgust into it. Yeah, he's being a little sarcastic, which you guys would all probably get the hint of that, mostly because he's not from here and doesn't really care how good their military turns out. So, who wants to go first?
I'll give it a try.
All right. Select a weapon from the table and make your way to the zombie. Yes, Private.
Sorry, Emily wants to ask a question.
Oh.
So, given the military history of our wonderful nation, have we seen zombies before? This is normal, or is it weird?
I would say that like they've probably done parades where the undead like footmen, basically zombies, shamble after the skeletal cavalry, and then like roll the big siege weapons down the like they probably do these in every town because there's almost like military youth camp in this. Like this country is very much like they pride themselves on it. Instead of playing like putting together puzzles or like playing tag, the games that you would have been raised on, minus this guy, which I'll get to you in a second, but the games that you guys would have been raised on would have been like, if they were board games, they would have been like tactical strategy games. If you're outside, doing physical play and stuff like that, it's probably, instead of playing like cops versus robbers, you're probably playing like, Gallivant versus the evil king or something, and like, at war with those. And you may have even had some amount of like servants that if you could not necessarily afford a living servant, you might have used one of these, either a skeleton or undead, to help around the shop or around the house, especially because they don't require as much food. They're not going to die if you don't feed them.
Got it. Thank you.
Got it. You, sir, having been actually a soldier of Thrain, you would have actually grown up with mandatory like archery training going up as a kid. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and gift you proficiency with a longbow.
Okay.
Because that's what Thrain would have had. Mind you, not a short bow, not a crossbow, a longbow. All right. From there, you amble over to the table.
Yeah, I would like to find what weapon looks heaviest and biggest. What looks most demolishing?
Most demolishing?
Yes.
There's a large maul. There is like a halberd. There is a large like flamebringer, like a big flamebringer, like a big two-handed sword with like a wavy blade.
I'm gonna pick up the halberd.
Halberd?
The halberd.
Like nice big pole arm. All right.
Yeah. And I head over to the zombie, and I guess I look back at the cadet.
Go ahead, take a whack at it.
And I swing.
All right. Give me an attack roll. And this weapon is a strength-based weapon, so you get to add your strength modifier to it.
That's good.
Probably a +3.
Yes. That's an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Okay. You go to swing at the zombie, and I would say that like what's a little different about this zombie as opposed to like normal unarmored zombies is they are trying to preserve his usage. So he is up armored a little bit.
Okay.
So your halberd kind of like clicks down, grazing the side of his like brigandine armor, and then like slinks down to the ground. And you can see like this one's got like the kind of look, and you see his eye that it was watching you steadily approach, kind of like look down at the halberd, which is like now in the mud, and he's like, and you see the lieutenant pull out a little notepad and go, okay. Do you want to change weapons, or are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm really just not used to this one. I thought I'd try something different. I'm used to a maul,
A maul?
so I'm gonna swap it out for the maul.
Okay. I'm also going to let you know right now that as a dwarf, you would have proficiency with axes.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just checking. All right, so you're like, oh, yeah, no, you come back and you pick up a maul, throw it over your shoulder.
We've been everywhere. We've seen this all over the place. It's fine. I'm used to this one. That's a natural 20 and.
Nice.
Okay, so this time, the zombie is like, watching you approach with the maul, and you just like kind of like bring it back over your shoulder, grab onto the other side of it, and just sling straight down across it, flattening his head. That one good eyeball kind of like dislodges as the head kind of sinks down into the armor, and he just topples over forward. The cadet goes, well done. All right.
I don't think you're supposed to clap. I don't.
Am I not supposed to?
I'm gonna kick whoever I can get to closest. Not hard.
Apparently we're not supposed to clap.
I guess
Never
not.
clapping.
Oh, okay. He doesn't hear
We're
it.
golf clapping.
Sure, yeah. He doesn't hear it because of the swift kick and the action of dust. He doesn't hear it. He's like very good. He's very impressed with it, and he also is like, Reginald. And then you see ambling out another zombie, like with like a cot, like a stretcher, dragging in the mud behind him. He walks over, grabs that one, pulls him on top of it, turns around, and starts to walk back, like amble back. And then you just see him like turn around, get there, and there's like, the courtyard. There are little bastions of like of open, like kind of like campfires around it, and he just like turns, flips the cot over, and the zombie just kind of gets caught up in the flame, and then he like pulls it back, and then he's like, and Reginald, could you assist us? And the zombie just kind of turns around and goes, and ambles over and stands there next to it. The one that's holding the target just kind of like looks over and he's like, very content, I suppose, with their lot in life.
Which one are we supposed to hit?
One of them is holding a target that looks like it's used for bow and arrow.
Okay.
The other one is has some
Okay, so they don't
brigandine
want us
armor on.
necessarily shooting the one that isn't holding the target. Is that a?
I'm not gonna dictate anything to you. Your common sense or character's common sense or lack thereof is welcome to do whatever it is. So with that, he goes, all right, maybe not decimate with your next tip. But if you would like, you can go ahead and have another attempt at this one.
You want me to smash that one too?
Yes.
Okay.
Perhaps like take a different approach with the swing or something.
All right. I would like to take them all again, but swipe at the side this
Sure.
time and try and catch him in the knee. Sorry, Reginald.
Oh no! I know that face.
Oh no, that's a 7. Okay, 10.
10. You are you go to pull back, and as you go to swing through with the knee, did you say sorry, Reginald?
I did.
Okay, so as you do that, Reginald goes like, and just lifts his leg just enough to where your maul like would have scraped it, but just barely coasts underneath it, and then he just kind of looks at you and goes,
Before the cadet says anything, can I take another swing? Because I saw that. I'm guessing.
Make me an athletics check.
8.
8.
Yeah.
As you swing back the other way you go, and he goes, Save some for the other ones. That's enough, Thule. Go ahead. Lay down. Get in formation. And go ahead and get in formation. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All right, Winlock. Which weapon would you like?
I'll take the knives.
The knives?
Yes.
Okay. You really only need one.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay. So she's going to take one of the knives and she's going to walk over and get within like 6 feet of it, maybe. I can do this. And then she's going to kick sand up into its face and throw the knife at it.
Throw the knife at it?
Yes.
Okay. Give me, I'm gonna let you have this as a ranged attack.
Okay.
At advantage because you kick the sand.
Nice.
Wait. I know it's not quite sleight of hand, but I'm gonna say give me a sleight of foot check, and then we'll see if you get advantage off it.
That's going to be a 15.
A 15. I will give you advantage on the attack. And this is dexterity based. I'm assuming you're going. Okay.
Natty 20.
Wow.
All right. So you kick up sand.
Yeah.
Reginald goes, "Ugh." And as you do, you fling it, poof, poof, end over end, and you catch it right in the neck. And it just sticks there, and he's like, "Ugh." And then he throws it over his shoulder. Well done. Nice natural 20. So you hear a little chuckle come from the cadet, and he's like, okay, go pick another weapon.
Okay. She'll walk over and pick up. Oh, what the heck? Is there a greatsword there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pick up the greatsword
Okay.
and go over and swing on him.
Go for it.
Oh, hey, 17.
17. Okay, so your Reginald's eyes get a little big when you go to grab that sword and drag it back across, and then you just rear back, give it a nice swing. A little bit of the brigandine kind of like braces the impact a little bit. The sword kind of turns a little bit in, so you don't slice cleanly through him, but like you get a nice hollow thump.
Nice.
As like the dust from inside his lungs just gets like a little bit of gasping air coming out of there. He doesn't need the air, but it's like interesting that this like decrepit gust of wind kind of comes out.
He was saving it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cadet, takes another little note in his book, and then he's like, I think I've seen enough, but if you would like to give another go with a different weapon, you're welcome to.
Oh, let's try one more, and I'll pick up a bow.
Turn. Okay, so you head back. You pick up the bow. You aim at not Reginald or Reginald?
I'm gonna aim at Reginald.
Okay. Where you're standing, it's not necessarily like he would notice.
Yeah.
Like the cadet's noticing. He's still like in his notebook, and he's like, okay, go ahead.
She's gonna wink at Reginald and then let the arrow fly.
When you wink at Reginald.
Shouldn't have winked.
Oh.
It's a 6.
A 6. Okay. When you wink at Reginald, he's like, and then like he actually like kind of trusts you a little bit, and he's like, oh, and then you like fire, and it goes, and like spit, almost like cuts down a little bit, right in front of him, and he's like,
And she'll just go set the bow back down.
All right. And Winlock makes a little, he makes a little note, and he's like, okay, Winlock, I see. Okay. Why don't you get back in formation? Who's next?
I have a question.
Shoot.
Has Thrain and Karnath, have they been at
Yeah, they
conflict?
skirmish.
So zombies, reasonably understood that I would have fought against them.
Reasonable.
Okay. And then the longbow, is that specific to Thrain, or is that...
It is, other people use it, but not other people necessarily train with it as kids.
Okay. Okay. I'll roll my shoulders and I'll walk over to the ranged weapon table and pick up a short bow specifically. I'll start kind of working my arm out, doing some limbering up kind of things, and then I'll swing over and step in front of the target.
Okay.
I also got an arrow.
I'm gonna assume. I appreciate that.
You know,
No, I appreciate the clarity.
swinging a miss.
I don't know. Did you roll it?
Oh yeah.
Wow!
I would have caught it, but I didn't want to like
+5
really
dex.
put you
Yeah,
guys in.
yeah.
What'd you get?
4.
A 4. You draw back the bow, and as you do, it flips up, and like you kind of like step out of the air as it just drops right next to you, and you can hear like a little chuckle. He's like, "Okay, Highgarden, maybe you, maybe something else."
I'll work it out. Look back at everybody else, and then I'm gonna take a moment, take a deep breath in through my nose, out through my mouth, and then draw back again.
Still a short bow? Okay.
That was a lot cooler in my head. 6.
A 6. You draw back, and as you do, like, you're used to the larger, like the more strength that you need to do it. And as you do, you pull back. And when you let go, like, it's actually like you almost pull too far and it slips as your fingers as you're trying to pull back further. And so it just kind of goes a little awry and clips off the side of the actual zombie's ear instead of hitting the target. And he's like, I mean, it's better. You go ahead and take another shot or pick a different weapon or...
Trying not to like break the bow across my knee. I'm gonna.
The short bow?
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Give me a wisdom save.
14.
Okay, so you get close and then you think better of it. Your eyes kind of like scan back up to the cadet who's like,
I'm gonna set it down on the table. Is there like a single hand sword, kind of a cavalry saber or something like
Yeah.
that? That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna pick it up, run it through a couple figure eights, and then walk back over to Reginald and just pop my neck and then go for a lunge.
all right, go for it.
12.
Okay, so you go and lunge and you do make contact, but it grazes off the inside of the brigandine armor. You don't quite do any real damage to it, but he takes note and he's like, Did you add strength or dex to that one?
That was strength.
Okay. All right. Tell me, did they teach you how to cook on the farm?
I was always told I could burn water.
Burn water. Understood. How about use a shovel?
Strong back,
Strong back.
simple mind.
We always need somebody to dig the latrine. All right. Willoughby,
Yes. My
have
turn?
at thee.
Yes. I go up to the table and I immediately pick up the short bow.
Okay?
And then I start to walk toward to face the target and I turn around and I go back to the table and I get the arrow. And then I set up my shot and go for it at the target rather.
At the target? All right.
We're gonna
That's
lose
a
the
4.
A 4?
Uh-huh.
Pull back. This being your size and the strength that you have at your disposal, this one actually, like, you go and you can't quite pull the string all the way back, and it just kind of flings out a little early, wings off the side of the target. Unfortunately, a miss. Feel free to redraw.
I'm gonna try again. My arrow luckily landed 2 feet in front of me, so I just go pick it up and try again. That's an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
This one, kind of glances on the, or kind of like sticks into like the outside of the target, like the last ring, just barely.
I'm gonna try a 3rd time. I'm using the big guy for this guy.
So what I'm reading here is that you have a 9 now total. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was a 10, but sure, I trust you.
You got a 13 on dex?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's +1.
Okay.
Yeah, so 8 +1. Unless you have a proficiency that I'm not aware of.
I just wrote down what it said in D&D Beyond when I put in the numbers. I'm a human, so I got +1 to everything.
Oh. I forgot. You guys, yeah, we did not talk about what bonuses that you guys added to that. So you got
Either
your
way,
+1.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's really all that matters.
No, good for me to know.
That was something I noticed, by the way. I know you wanted all of us to have a negative. When I put the negative in my charisma, I get +2.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, okay.
I'm okay with it.
All right.
Charisma's your dump stat too.
Huh?
Charisma's your dump stat too.
Yeah.
Can't
why
you
we're
tell?
So charming.
You guys get along like two peas in a trash pile. All right. So what are your stats now? I have this one up. I got yours.
Okay.
+1 to everything is easy.
I had a +2 bonus to Constitution.
So I'm seeing 16, 16, 15.
16, 15, 14, 9, 13.
15, 14, 9,
Yep.
13.
Still a negative, buddy.
That's fine. You guys are rolling pretty negative right now anyway.
Yeah,
so.
we are.
We're making up for
At
it.
least our dice are beautiful, though.
Absolutely they are.
Right? Mine are
Why
actually
is
doing
that?
pretty good.
Because they're all from Level Up Dice.
What's level up dice?
This beautiful luxury dice company that's sponsoring this stream.
And are you sure that it has nothing to do with the wonderful table? Or
I mean, I will say at least my beautiful dice are protected on this amazing Wormwood table. Thanks, Wormwood.
Thanks, Wormwood.
You guys, the Chris Gates is here. The Chris Gates.
what was
from
your wisdom again?
Actually, though, this is my first time playing at a Wormwood table, and it is
Mine too. This is
pretty
really nice.
I don't know how I'm gonna go back.
Can we
I'm
just
feeling
take
a
this
little
home with us?
spoiled.
I know it's really nice.
I'm sure they're happy to
I
let
know.
you.
See,
Yeah,
I need
got
to
it. Thank
take
you.
this one because it's D4 purple. So
Level Up Dice purple.
So,
Let's be clear.
I want to say,
Well,
Rudy,
It's Rudy Purple.
we're gonna have like a cage match at the end of the game.
after
Oh, at the end?
One against one.
You think that happens at the end?
after I fire my 3 terrible shots, I turn around and look at the rest of my squad, just to see if any of them are doing anything.
I'm standing, staring resolutely forward. I'm gonna roll my eyes and
I give a real weak thumbs up.
And then I'm gonna look and see and ask, can I go one more time? Please.
Was that one your third shot or your second?
That was my 3rd.
Third. Let's do this. Oh man, you asked. Give me a persuasion check.
Can I assist her?
No.
Dang.
That's an 11.
11. Fine, hurry. And he like tosses an arrow at your foot.
14.
14.
Yes.
This time you draw back and you're able to get it on the secondary set of rings on the inside, and he goes, all right. Not bad, Willoughby.
Thank you so much. So, and I run back with my group.
He turns around and he goes, all right, I know you saw kindness. That was the one freebie that you all had for the entirety of basic training. If you ask again, there will be consequences.
Will you sit on that?
And then he turns around and starts to walk towards the portcullis, the gates, and like you are able, he's out of earshot by the time you go, you did it on that?
Really? We used it on that.
I didn't know. I didn't know. Everyone else.
3 arrows failed. You'd think you'd have given up.
For it's supposed to be training, there's an awful lot of expectation that you just know stuff. Is it just me?
It's not.
I mean,
just
most
you.
people are good at something.
Do you ever smile? No. Oh, I have a new goal.
Privates! And you see him turn around, or you see him at the portcullis going like,
See, he could have said follow me, but he didn't. And I'll rush over there.
okay. So you guys rush over, he goes, part of being a good unit is knowing what the other people in your unit are going to be doing. You need to do your best to read my mind as I am in charge right now. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I turn around and walk off, you should probably march behind me. And then he just turns around and starts walking into the forest.
I'm gonna march emphatically.
Emphatically.
Yes.
I'll follow.
As we rush behind, I just lean up and say, "What if he goes to the loo?"
Actually, how far away is he from the table of weapons?
At this point, I'd say about 40 yards, maybe.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't run back and grab a knife and store it somewhere.
I mean, do you want to do this?
Yes.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
All right.
Can I attempt
At
to
disadvantage because you're doing it in the middle of the. Wait. Actually, it's fine. Let it sit. If you're going to attempt to stop her, let us say. Give me a perception check. If you roll a 15 or above, you notice this before.
Nope.
Okay. You clock her about the time where she is turned and running back to the table. And you all notice, like you all, I'm assuming thus far nobody's told me otherwise, and you told me you emphatically run after. Yeah. The rest of you are gone. You start following him into the woods, you hit the tree line, you start to go back. You go over.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
That's an 10.
A 10. Okay, so you make it over to the table. You see the knife, right?
Yeah.
You snatch up the knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn around and they're gone.
Reginald, which way did they go? Just point.
He points at the gate.
That's really helpful. Thanks. All right. I'll scamper off toward where I saw him walking in the direction. Just keep going straight.
Okay. Make me a survival check.
I'm gonna get lost in the woods. Oh, maybe not. Survival is
Wisdom.
wisdom, so that's a 16.
16. You get into the woods, you start kind of like looking around, trying to find little, you like kind of glimpse in the powdery, like, wasteland there. What?
Could I investigate to see which way they went?
That was your survival check.
That was, okay, got it.
So as you kind of like make your way in there, you can kind of like see moving a little bit, like you kind of get that glimpse every now and then between the trees of like a gray uniform, like disappearing behind a set of trees, and you kind of like make your way through there. And then you three, following behind the cadet, make your way up to what basically a clearing, and what folds out before you is a large, like wooden wall with a rope dangling down from a little purchase up there, and it looks as though this would be the kind of basically wall climb, using the rope to climb your way up sort of exercise. And then you can kind of get the feeling, or you can kind of get the edge of the environment here. It looks like it's all actually been like hewed out, as if there's stuff beyond this as well. From where you are, as he stops, turns, and he goes, formation, and you kind of like, the three of you get into place. Give me a stealth check.
14.
14. You managed to slide. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't take that for granted. You managed to slide in just
sweet.
at the tail end as he turns around, pulls out his notebook, and then looks down, like lowers the notebook, looks down across, and he says, "All right. This is an obstacle course. You will be judged on completion. Each one of the events at it will give you a score and will help us determine what your job qualifications will be." Oh, I'm getting a pretty good feeling about you, Tubby. And as I'd like to see you sweat a little, how about you hop up and give that rope a climb?
I got faith in it. One more time.
One more go.
I believe in it.
Athletics.
Yeah, so you hustle over there, you grab onto the rope, look up, athletics check.
12.
12. You're able to go hand over hand, kind of getting your girth up over, and you make it to the top. Up there is basically a nice flat embankment, if you will, like just the top of the wall. It's flat. And then stretching out beyond that, you see a long, what I would call a 2x4, but is essentially a long tree that has been wedged in here towards the other end, and then you can also make out that there are two more of them alongside each other towards another tall embankment like this one. Just like going straight across. Next!
I run up.
Okay. Grab onto the rope.
Yep.
Athletics check.
Great.
And then we see the pattern here. Would you two like to go ahead and roll out your athletics checks?
Is that strength?
Strength base, yeah.
That's 12.
12.
12.
21.
All right. So the two of you go up, make your way up the rope, pop up to the side, see this same kind of like log outstretched, reaching across the other one, and then you look down and you notice, not look down, but you look like to your left and right, and you notice that the Tala Thule, that Private Thule is already kind of standing up there going like, and the cadet walks around the side of it, makes his way over, and he goes, "All right, good. Now, go ahead and make your way across. Don't fall." And as you look down below you, there appears to be like a very deep, thick trough of mud beneath, like a shallowed gully there.
Oh, please let that be
Yummy.
water.
And as you do, well, let's go.
I'm gonna start hurrying across.
All right, this is an acrobatics check.
Dex,
Yep, Dex, or anybody that might be proficient in acrobatics.
22.
The dwarf takes the first lead, stumbling across, lightly moving one foot in front of the other, gets to the other side with no problem.
12.
9.
10.
Okay. You take some tentative kind of steps as you're just kind of like making your way slowly over, and then you hear the thud and crash of two very distinct sounds, boosh, boosh, into the water, and you two look up from face planting in the mud to see the two of them looking down at you.
How far down is it?
It's only about, thank you for that note. It's a 10-foot fall.
Yeah, thank you for that note.
However, since it was muddy, it's a little softer, I'm just gonna let you roll me 1d6.
Yay.
Kind of benevolent.
2.
6.
Oh no.
Are you dead now?
I have 2 HP now.
Good thing you had a 20 on your,
Right?
yeah. All right, so you had a total of 8. Yours is 6.
Down to 4 now.
Oh no, you should have had 9
Oh,
total because you get 4, a d4 flat, plus you get your con modifier. You have a 20, so you have 9 total HP.
I meant 3 hit points.
Woohoo!
You have 6.
Yes.
You're down to 4.
Yes.
All right. You had
7.
7. 7. 6. 6. All right. So you two, the wind gets knocked out of you as you hit the ground. All right, and then you can see the on the other side of it we have essentially a downward ramp. So the cadet goes, okay, come on, let's go, get up. You two meet them down at the bottom, making your way down to the downward ramp, and then you can see basically a long stretch of clearing down to another wood line where they stopped clearing it.
Okay.
And he goes, all right, run.
I start running.
Take off.
I start running. Yeah.
You start running.
Take a quick look across the field and make sure there's no pitfalls or anything like that.
Give me a perception check.
Nope. Okay. Cool. Perception is
Wisdom.
so 6.
6. All right, so it just kind of looks like it's like a muddy, like somewhat sand, somewhat snow, like just kind of churned from many other people taking this course. And basically he's just like, run, back and forth as a lap, all the way there, all the way back, 20, go. Con saves.
Oh.
Oh no.
What'd you get?
9.
Woo!
Natural 20 plus 2.
Woo!
4.
Really more of a sprint.
We're rolling great today. 13.
All right. So as you guys are running back and forth, you make it 4. You make 4, back and forth, and then you just kind of like, you make 9, which, to be honest, he's like, that's more than I expected from you. It must just be your stubby legs. All right. And then he turns around and sees you. You wobble through, coughing it out at 13, ending at the far end, and you're just like, and you do, and then like you do 2 extra,
Wait.
and he's just like, I applaud you.
Can I stop running now?
Yes. Now, out of breath. You two, with your suboptimal, you had 13. Oh, you had a 4?
I had 4. She had 13.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had those 2 out of range.
No
I
worries.
do have stubby legs though. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not graceful at all. Most of that elven heritage has been bred out.
Yeah, because
no.
dwarves are so graceful.
Hey,
They're really good runners.
you know how to lean forward?
Momentum.
Yeah.
You're using center of gravity.
Yeah, you lean forward very well. Okay, so with that, you guys turn, make your way, and out of breath with your 4 and your 9, you two will have disadvantage on the next skill check.
Okay.
You're just... Actually, wait a minute. What's your con modifier? Is 2? All right, that does not get you above the threshold that I wanted. You will still have it. And you had a 4, you're screwed. So, so you two will have disadvantage on the next skill check.
Okay.
However, he basically takes you from there, moves you through the next wood line, and you can see that there are like red marks on trees. There seems to be like kind of a boundary set up, and that boundary like extends around the outside of the obstacle course that you were doing a little bit. He leads you back even further, and then you start to shift off in different areas. Everybody give me a survival check. Actually, let's call this one nature.
At disadvantage, correct?
Disadvantage for you two.
Is that
wisdom?
intelligence?
Nature is intelligence.
Okay.
Oh,
18.
15.
10.
Oh no.
That's a 20, and that's a 3.
Okay, so a 3,
18.
18?
Yep.
15.
10.
All right, so you two did a pretty good job of like actually tracking the direction you guys were moving in. You kind of like noticed how the trees seem to be like getting like thinning out a little bit, or like where they become a little bit more dense, and you're able to really get a good vibe of where kind of like the direction that he's led you. Your sense of direction is still sitting well. What that's going to mean is that the next situation here is land nav. While the nature check did not go 2 or 4 your scores as of like job qualifications,
Yeah.
you two will have advantage on the survival check for land nav. You two will be flat, and survival is wisdom based. So as you guys make your way back, he basically turns around and he goes, "All right, find your way back to the fort." And then you see him walk over to a rope ladder, like that is just kind of there, and you see him grab onto the side, glance at his notebook, and then it just lifts him out of the forest. And as you look up, you can see the hull of an airship starting to make its way back towards the encampment.
I really don't like that guy, but he has style.
Or enough wealth for the airship to...
That's the same difference.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, two.
Okay.
Wait. Let's not go tearing off in different directions. Shouldn't we stick together as a squad?
Yes, absolutely.
Trying to make our way out of this?
Sure.
So, very good. You actually did the one thing I was thinking of as far as like how you could all put your hopes and dreams onto the backs of one person, and I will let you confer as to who might be that person. But you cannot use it, you cannot talk about it meta.
Well,
You have to find character ways to discuss it. If I hear the word wisdom, survival, any of that, negated. Everybody is going to go their own separate way.
doing the best on everything we've done. I say we follow her.
For once, I agree with you. You seem to have knocked this out of the park.
I may be able to find my way back. I've never had to do anything like that before. But
Traveled
Let's be
everywhere.
honest, I don't even know how I
but
got
it's
here.
never like the same place twice.
I believe in you.
That is of no help. But thanks. I
Sorry.
guess.
You
All right,
can
guys.
do this, Tavi.
Tala.
Tali.
No. Tala.
Tala.
I thought
Yeah,
you
like
were
you're
best
singing.
friends.
We are. That's why I call her T.
Oh, I hate that.
At least you're not baby bird.
We're going to Miss Chow.
Oh,
And if
right.
you miss Chow,
right.
I will turn you inside out.
I'm gonna
Why
turn
are you
around.
only looking at me? All right, lead the way, please, before he kills me and leaves my body in the woods.
I'm gonna turn around. Well, he's shooting daggers at you with his face. And try and find the way back.
You can have advantage because everybody's going to be helping you.
I already had advantage. So do I get
No, there's no such thing.
extra
it was
advantage.
worth a question. I mean,
It was a yeah.
I mean,
all right, that's not a
Worth a
bad
shot.
start. And this is wisdom 15.
15.
Yeah.
Now the rest of you roll it based on whatever I told you on the last thing as well.
16.
I rolled above a 15 for the first time. Like,
What did you get?
18.
Nice.
Nice.
I was inspired.
All right. Well, using a guide here, and then helping to point each other out, like where you're going as you're moving through. You guys make a very, very easy way back to the like obstacle course, and then from the obstacle course, you just kind of like move your way across there. And as you are like stalking through the woods, you notice that there is another group going, and you hear like the splashes of people falling into the mud, it going up everywhere, etc. Well done as you make your way back, and you see as you emerge from the wood line, having that little bit of powdered kind of like open space to cross before you make it back to the fort. You can just see the cadet up there like. And then he opens his journal and starts taking notes. Hurry on up here and on the double, everybody make me no, we're gonna call this athletics. Go ahead, everybody give me an athletics check.
What do we do if it's cocked on the side? Do you want me to tap the dice tray?
No.
No?
Reroll it.
Okay.
12.
No, can I have the
12.
other one?
12.
8.
8.
18.
18.
This was con?
No, this was
Oh,
athletics.
Athletics. Oh, okay, that's a 4.
4. All right. You make your way up there first.
The clapping has just inspired me.
Yeah. And he goes, he like sees you get there first, snap to attention. He goes, oh, very good. You get to pick which item you want to put together.
What are the items?
So before you actually just see like a pile of like bolts and like different like kind of like cogs, and like it basically looks like a Connect set.
Sure.
Little throwback of childhood there, for because do they make that anymore?
They do.
Oh, okay. So you basically make out like a couple of different piles of it. Some of them seem, but one specifically seems to have like, as you kind of glance over them, one of the desks that it's laying on seems to have like carving on it.
I want to go to that one.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah.
I pointed it out right there.
Yeah.
So you make your way over there and you kind of sit down and you look down at it. Roll me an intelligence check.
4?
A 4.
Yeah.
The carvings on it just look like gibberish to you.
Of course they do.
But the thing at the bottom, you can kind of like it's got basically like very small, like along the edge of it, that's where all the carving is. And it just looks kind of like maybe like cliffs and stuff like that. But at the end, what you see is like a Ferris wheel, is like the final kind of thing. So it looks like a Ferris wheel. And then, let's see, who else shambles up after? It's really not going to matter. You guys kind of shamble up in the order that you get and sit down into those. The last person we had somebody with a 4, I think,
That
right?
was me.
That was you?
Yeah.
What took you so long? I said on the double. You did basically half time.
It's a lot more physical activity than I'm used to.
Oh, is it too much physical activity? It's too much physical activity for the princess. You know what? I think the only way for us to get past this is conditioning. Before you sit down, everyone drop and give me 10. Everybody, Constitution saving throws.
No!
14.
19.
7.
Okay, you struggle, and you get to 7, and then like on the 8th one, your arms are shaking, your whole body starts to sag, and you're just kind of like gasping as you look up at him. The other ones, everybody else is done. They pop back up, and they're like going to like move towards their little mounds of sprockets and such, and he just kind of is like, just go.
Yes, sir.
You kind of like roll onto your back, gassing, and then you just kind of...
It's like mud everywhere.
Yeah, you're just a disgrace of a uniform. And you sit down at the table, everything is blurry. You 3 can now give me intelligence checks. These will be Arcana, if you have such of a thing, as a proficiency for that based on your race or your background or anything like that. This will be Arcana for you. For you, this will be Arcana at disadvantage. Oh, and you. Because there's still the Ferris wheel, you don't understand all the glyphs, but I'm still gonna give you advantage on your check.
Oh. So I'm at disadvantage, right?
You have disadvantage, yes. Roland Highgarden.
6.
10.
Can I use my deductive intuition right now? Lets me roll a d4 and add it to a intelligence or wisdom check.
It's very specifically intelligence or wisdom for
Oh,
two
it is
specific skills.
investigation or insight.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay, got it. Oh, then I can't.
Then you
What am I
can't.
doing? That's a 14.
So with the aid of the little graphical representations
Oh, yeah.
on the bottom here, you start to kind of like put it together and you start kind of working your way through it. And you do end up making a Ferris wheel. And it's just sitting there kind of like in its little glory, right? Nice little sheen to it and everything like that. And then you notice that the last thing that you have to put on is kind of like that final piece on the wheel there, like the fulcrum area there. And go ahead and roll me another Arcana check.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. So the cadet walks through and goes, and then you just have like this little inkling that you're supposed to like touch the center of it. And as you do, you feel the fingertip warm up, and you can feel like you start to see the actual Ferris wheel start to like turn, and then it starts to spin faster and faster and faster and faster. And then it just like go and like pieces start flying off and it just like crumbles in front of you. Luckily he's walked by you because you were the first one in the row. And then he walks next to Private Winlock, looks down, sees that you have constructed what?
It's a horse.
Okay. Basically, your construction just looks like 4 legs with a longer leg in the center and then like a leg sticking up.
Yep.
And he's like, okay, a horse. And then you have a bunch of parts left over on the side there, and he goes, does it do anything? Arcana check.
That's a 11.
Okay. It goes to like kind of like just very stingy, rigidly, like makes it a couple steps and then just like stops.
I didn't want to show off.
Right. Okay, princess. Cool. It looks like a pile. What is it a pile of?
Well, it's a catapult.
What is it?
So I assume
Throw
then that
stuff.
it works.
Yeah.
Oh, a catapult.
So I'm not sure how dwarves build catapults.
Like that.
Oh, this must be one of those like camouflage into the hill. Because what this looks like is a mound with like one long piece sticking out of the back. So I'm assuming that you can make this work. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check to see if it does anything.
That's a natural 1 plus 2.
A natural +2. So with your 3, you go. And the arm just goes.
Well, it's not loaded, so.
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. You had some parts left over, and he picks up
did.
like a little
Ooh.
like a little cog, and he sets it down. He goes, "Why don't you load it?" All right, now it should work perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Since you rolled a 3 on the last one, this one's going to be a disadvantage, but go ahead and give me another Arcana check. Maybe you'll
I
crush
figured,
it.
yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see how this
Two
goes.
20s.
That's actually way better. Even with disadvantage, it's a 12.
A 12. So this time you like reach over to it, and it's not necessarily like Arcana per se, but I'm assuming you're not proficient in that anyway. This is more of an intelligence check. You like put it down on it, and then you like go, and as you do, you like pull it down just a little bit, and it kind of like kicks up about 3/4 of the way, but the little thing just pops off, lands on the other side of the mound, and he goes, okay. What
We're
did you
used
get?
to making them a little bigger.
What did you get?
12.
A 12.
Yeah.
Okay, he's like, well, we probably won't put you in the engineer corps, but serviceable. All right, Highgarden. Did you try?
Yeah, it's a haystack.
A haystack. For like hasty ambushes, yes?
Right, if you were to hide in it.
He's like, I got something. And he goes through a little sack and he pulls out like a little toy soldier that's about this big. It's a little skeleton. And he just kind of like pops it down there. Your mound's about this big. And he goes, okay. Show me. Okay, and as you mime that, what did you do?
Picked up the bundle of parts, put the soldier underneath it, and put the parts back on top of it. And then I'm gonna go to attention.
He's like, and he scribbles something down into his little notebook. How long have I been using that one? It's not the one I wanted to use. There it is. Okay. All right, so then he's like walks over there. You don't have to pick it up. I threw it for a reason.
well.
It's not a gag if you pick it up. These are more necessary. So as you guys, as you finish up your situation there, whatever we're gonna call that, you guys are. Oh, I don't know. I need to. Okay, you guys make your way back, kind of like to attention, standing similar to how he is back against the line, and he walks over and he goes, "All right, your training has pretty much concluded for the day. So why don't we head back to the Chow Hall, and I'm going to meet with you individually. Go ahead. if I beat you there, it's not going to be good for you.
I start walking.
Yeah.
Are we in the airship?
No. You were on. I should have been a little bit more explicit that he was on the ramparts, so you met him up on the ramparts.
So we make our way.
Don't be
Quickly.
late to dinner. You get
Hustle.
turned inside out.
You want to try me? I'm going to take off running.
You take off running.
I also take off running.
I will take off running as well.
I will with my short dwarf legs.
Good.
She's gonna get there first.
Probably.
I know it.
All right, everybody, give me athletics checks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's right. Dinner's on the table, yo. Athletics is strength, yeah?
Strength.
21.
21,
18.
19,
12.
12,
3.
So, as you're like,
I rolled a 1.
like making your way back, beelining for the Chow Hall, you slide into the end of the line and pop to attention, as unfortunately we have to do. When we get there, just slide into it. And then you had a 19?
18.
18. You slide in right behind that.
12.
12. You slide in. And then as you're like you're kind of looking around to see if he's following. If he's following. And then when you turn back to look forward, you see that he is actually like already turning the corner. The cadet is already turning the corner. And then you can see the three of them in the line behind it, like stretched out. And then you can see him be like, where's
I'd
the
like to
princess?
Sneak in if I can.
Okay.
Like in
Give me-
deeper, where I'm just like sitting in the back of the tent on a chair.
So you're telling me that instead of doing that, you're trying to like go around, like not even go to the line.
After I see that I'm gonna get busted for being late and get in trouble, I'm gonna try to sneak in through under the tent or something.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay. That is an 18.
An 18. You succeed in like cutting the corner, sliding around the back end of the area,
Okay.
and then the cadet's sitting there going like, "Where is Princess?"
Guys, I got us a table over here.
He like snaps his head over to you. You would have been so good if you didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought I was sitting.
Oh, you are inside the tent
Yeah.
where you're not supposed to be.
I thought we were supposed to be in the. Okay.
You were supposed to be in the line
I
with
didn't
everybody
think I
else.
was. Okay.
He turns and looks at you and he goes, Oh, you must be getting Princess her food. I yell over the frickin' music from 4 miles away. You must be getting her food, yes? Or did she do this of her own volition?
I'm just not hungry.
We decided to take turns, sir, getting each other dinner. And tonight is her turn to sit down.
He looks.
Well, she was really tired, and it seemed like the good team thing to do.
I
was
see.
complaining about her ankle. She didn't want to stand anymore. So we decided, as a team, to give her a rest.
Thank you. It's like they saw me stare at them.
They did.
They felt it.
Okay. Deception. And what did you say when you did it?
I'm just not that hungry.
Okay, deception.
I have proficiency. Oh,
Oh.
it's a natural 1, so
Oh no.
So what's that? A total of
deception is charisma, so
you get a +1
I
out
get
of
a
your.
-1.
We have a negative
He
1,
has
but
a
then
0.
your proficiency is a +2, so that's a 1 total
Oh,
plus
God.
your 1. Is that what you got? So you get a 2.
Wow.
All right.
I tried.
It's okay.
And you were beautiful the entire time, might I add.
I felt bad about my 7 until a second ago, but
12.
9.
well,
Couldn't believe it.
your face was.
It was all in the face.
All right. Well, let's see. No. No, this is not how we do things as a squad. Although, I am reluctant to say that your concern for each other. No, you all failed. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Not even you.
What did I do?
Well, the rest of your squad is pulling their weight, standing in line. You
Found somewhere
suppose.
for us to sit.
He like turns and just motions towards an open sea of seating. That was really challenging for you, wasn't it, Princess? I
You're
should
going to
actually
keep calling
remind
me
you.
princess, aren't you?
No, I'm actually going to make sure. I think Princess is giving you too much leeway. I think that private is actually more appropriate, and now I'm going to insist that you all continue to call me sir, and if you forget, there'll be hell to pay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I will see you after Chow. Individually, you may wait at your bunks for me.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Emily wants to know, are we not already supposed to call him sir? Because I don't know anything
You
about
were, but he was
Okay.
kind of letting it slide
All right.
for a lot of that, but Princess kind of knocked that off.
Got it. Okay. I just want to make sure I understood what was happening.
Right. All right. So, as you guys eat chow, after this wonderful display of camaraderie, what is the mood at the table?
And at the entire table?
No, where the
just
four of
each
you
of
are
us?
sitting now with your gruel.
I'm going to make sure I'm in between the two of them as much as I can be.
What's on the menu?
Gruel.
It's gruel.
It's like porridgey gruel, gruely porridge.
Nothing with bones in it.
With bones? Yeah, your gruel has bones in it.
All right.
This is Fort Bones by the...
It's a rave night at Fort Bones.
Apparently.
I'm going to.
Oh, wow,
Wow.
listen to that bass.
I can feel the bass.
That is my mood right now.
Never let it be said. I mean, they
Theme
turned it
music right
down.
now.
They turned it down.
Yeah.
Never let it be said that people aren't somewhat considerate
Yeah.
Yeah.
after they
Nope, they're
realize
turning
what the
back up.
threshold is. Okay, anyway,
Um,
we'll play on.
I'm not saying anything. I'm eating my gruel steadily. Anytime I find a bone, I'm going to pick it out and look directly at you and crush it and drop it to the floor.
Crush it?
Just take the bone and just, depending on, I assume
Yeah.
a small bone.
Sure. Snap it.
Yeah.
What have you? All right.
Ooh.
And, yep, that does it. I'm going to flip her porridge into the floor.
Ah! What are you doing? Weren't you the one who made a big deal about not making a scene?
You've already ruined that for us. I might as well add to it.
Isn't that up to the rest of the group? Look, I got winded, okay? I couldn't keep up. Is that what you want to hear?
Listen, we all need to work together. I refuse to let you two. I mean, carry on.
There's always that one.
So, was the haystack, like, is that something that you used a lot on the farm?
Yeah.
Did you hide from lots of stuff?
No.
I mean, that was a brilliant idea. I wish I'd thought of it.
I'm just gonna reach over and take his porridge while they're talking.
Sleight of hand versus perception.
Oh no, I think I spilled his. It's a 4.
Perception's wisdom.
Yeah,
18.
18. So as you like reach over to side, he just takes his spoon and swats your hand.
What did I tell you about coming between me and Chow?
Oh no, that's fair. I forgot. How? I don't know, but I did. So
Have you ever
baby
seen
bird.
something be turned inside out?
No,
Imagine a sheep.
no, I've never seen anything like
Reach
that.
in. Inside out.
Uh huh.
Did that happen on the farm too?
While they're having this stare down, I get her tray and scrape the porridge off the tent floor back onto it. And I put it in front of her.
I'm gonna swap our porridges as stealthily as I can.
I'm gonna say, like, normally I would give you advantage for the roleplay portion of that, but I'm gonna say that was well done. You don't even need to roll. You can do that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's more pity than anything else.
Right. I pity her too. So as you guys finish up eating and make your way back toward towards the tent, towards your little barracks area, and you sit there contemplating what you've done today, you await the cadet to come back. And quick aside, I'm going to address the camera. Basically what we're going to do now is this is how their class selection is going to go based on their successes and their failures during the training situation. I can tell you right out of the gate from your poor display there at the end, no charisma classes are on the board for anybody. But that's not a terrible thing. They're a little hard to justify, except for like the bard being the drummer. You know, so we're good here. That's fine. What I have here is the rest of them, and I will add, if desired, I'll let this be a table vote. I will add Artificer to the tray since we have Eberron coming up. And remember that once something is taken, that is it.
Yeah.
It is now off the board.
Yeah.
So, do we want to add Artificer to the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say so. In the spirit of Eberron coming out, let's add it.
Okay.
I mean, if that catapult was any indication,
Hey, you got it to work.
look, it just wasn't loaded.
You got it to work.
Alrighty then. Alright, so with these, we will be able to decipher what your 3 options for a class are. Hopefully you have 3. Some of you perform pretty poorly on things. I am also going to be playing this in the scenario where, well, I guess if it was a longer campaign, you, in multi-classing, were going to be a thing. I would also judge your stats based on that. For this, I'm pretty much just going to say, whatever you get out of those, that's what you get to pick, regardless if you have the aptitude for it stat-wise.
Right.
Okay? All right. And then also, it's 6:55. Usually we would end at 7. We're pretty close to on time. Our pacing is pretty great. I would actually say that minus both me talking about it now and the loud, obnoxious bass of our inconsiderate neighbors, we would actually be dead set on time.
Nice.
But this session 0, this I would call it like an interactive session 0, because most session 0s are just talky, right? You guys actually got to perform for your session. So during this interactive session 0, it gives us a really good place to pick up tomorrow. So if you tune back in at 4 o'clock tomorrow, we can pick up pretty much right after the class selection. You guys will have time to go home and take care of setting up your classes, but you'll get to see how those work out. And it's Mixer. There'll be a VOD up in case you tuned in late. you can catch the rest of this and be ready, good to go at 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, 1 o'clock Pacific. See if I can do this right again. Berlin would be... Science 6 over... Oh, man. 9-hour difference.
What time is it in Sydney right now?
Oh, yeah. We should also do Australia, too,
Yeah.
considering that's where Level Up Dice is based. I'll leave that to you guys to figure that one out.
For like two.
You can check the world clock on your phone.
I think this is. I don't want to do that. That's cheating. I think this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I think 1 o'clock in the morning in Berlin.
Yeah.
So that's okay. We're not holding you
It's
to
like
that.
9
It
a.m.?
might be 10.
8 or 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Oh, I was way off.
that's okay. So with that, the lieutenant, the cadet, the loser,
Sir.
steps back up and goes, "All right, who would like to go first?" Everybody can roll me initiative.
Oh.
So essentially just dexterity. 21,
19.
19,
Dirty 20.
dirty 20,
4.
4. So this is the order in which you pop up and snap to attention. And he says, "All right, very well. You first, second, third, fourth. Meet me at the officers' pavilion. Go ahead and come along." And then the three of you kind of go back to at ease. You can sit back down in your cots. Go ahead and have a little bit of a conversation while he and I walk over to the officers' tent.
Can I kick her bunk on the way out?
Whose?
Mine.
Yes.
I do that, and then I walk out.
Are you already sitting on it by the time
yeah.
he gets out?
Yeah.
Okay. You notice. I'm not going to do anything else ridiculous. Actually, no, I am. Roll me a d20. Flat.
16.
16. He kicks it. You're able to grab onto the sides of it enough that it jumps, but you like lurch with it, and then settles back onto the ground. And she strolls out. So let's see what we have. You guys can go ahead and have your conversation after this guy has left.
Okay. I feel like he doesn't like me.
Look, I appreciate your unique perspective to this whole military thing, but please stop, because you're gonna get us all in like a lot of trouble.
What do you want me to stop doing?
Well, like a lot of stuff. So if you could maybe not intimidate the
knife.
Hulk.
And set it.
Where did you get that?
My bunk.
Why do you have a knife?
Because I planned ahead.
Put that away before they see it.
did.
Okay,
Look. I'll be honest with you. I have absolutely no idea what to expect in this place. So it makes more sense to me to give everybody a certain impression.
that's fair.
And then you work forward from it.
Yes, but they're making us soldiers, so I don't think we're gonna be attacked to the point where you need to be armed at all times.
So is your strategy to be the worst so that then
So
you
that
look
I
better?
improve the most. And as far as the not
certain
needing to be
intelligence
armed
to
all
that.
the time, that's not how my family works.
Could I try and yank the knife away from her?
Where did you put
It's
it?
sitting under the pillow.
I'll let you dive for it.
Can I attempt to stop her?
Give me a perception check before she dives.
10. No, wait. Yeah, 10.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your sleight of hand. You can make an athletics check at disadvantage to see if you can stop her.
Which one is sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand will be dex.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
19.
Pretty good disadvantage.
Yep.
That's a 17.
17. All right. She's able to snatch the knife out from under your pillow.
Okay.
You lunge over, try and grab at her, and come up with the pillow.
Give me that back.
I'm going to walk to the entrance of the tent. Is it dark outside right now?
What do you mean by dark outside?
I mean, like,
Is
is,
it-
there anyone
nighttime?
around? Is it getting
If she
dusky?
throws it, are people gonna see it?
Yeah, if I just
it's
throw
a pretty
this-
busy. Like you're in the courtyard. Like your tents are kind of set up in like a courtyard of sorts.
Okay. Then
Tala.
are there
Tala.
empty?
Yeah. I trusted you and showed you I have that. I wasn't expecting you to take it away from me. I would appreciate it if you would give it back.
We're all going to get in trouble.
If it gets found.
And if you do not have it, it can't be found.
Little Bird has some good logic.
And
Fine.
we're gonna pause there, and we're gonna head over. You have 3 options. Do not share them with anybody. And by handing me back the other 2, I will know which one you have selected.
Oh, I don't get to see them, and
You could have, but you just. I'll let you do it.
Oh, I thought it was a blind selection. Can you look at them all?
No, I think it's fair that you can look at them. Just
Okay.
you have not long to decide.
okay.
I'm so excited about this step. I do love this method.
Isn't it? Isn't it
Really
fun?
good. Yeah.
Is this as scary as you thought it was going to be?
Like some RP acting.
Well, yes and no. I almost wish that I had not re-rolled once. Like I wish that I had understood that the way that you intended it to be understood. Mm-hmm. Because truthfully, this is probably one of the better stat sheets I've put together, which makes me a little sad. But you know,
Well, I was actually thinking about the other day how if we enjoy this as much, maybe we just continue to do one like long distance. Like people don't have to watch it necessarily. Like,
that'd be fun.
I don't care
Or, hear me out.
about that necessarily. If it's fun, it's fun. If you get good table chemistry, you get good table chemistry. These are the 2 you're returning. All right. Alrighty. So as you make your selection, he goes, all right, report to the quartermaster. But send the other one first. Yes, sir. The princess. Private princess. All right. So as he goes off, finds you, tags out, he heads off to the. You pop your head in to see them like arguing over the knife, essentially.
I don't have it just like out and about.
Well, no,
That
but
would be foolish.
you guys are having the conversation.
Yeah.
When I stick my head in, do I see the knife?
I think that it is still a thing. Like it's in your hand. You're not
Yeah.
flailing about with
Right.
it, but you've got it. So you do see it as you pop your head in, and you can see them at odds, and you see.
Help me get rid of it.
What are you doing?
She had a knife.
We couldn't have them.
Do you understand what they will do to you if you have a weapon when you're not supposed to have a weapon?
No, because no one has explained anything to me.
Get rid of it.
Here, I'll go take it back.
Not hardly. Report to the cadet.
Fine.
double time.
Did he say double time, or are you
Yes.
saying double time? Fine. And I will make my way double time.
As I go to the quartermaster, is there an opportunity to ditch said knight? Like, okay, before I decide to leave the tent or not, is there a clear path from here to there? And
You have to kind of like move around and stuff like that. There's going to be receptacles and stuff around. You could even possibly sneak back out to. Give me an investigation check. Actually, no, history. It's still going to be intelligence, but
7.
7. You look everywhere to like maybe try and find the armory before you hit the quartermasters, but you're not really able to find it. So you just have it on your person, I guess.
I am going to the quartermaster, and I'm going to be picking up some stuff, presumably. Yeah.
Presumably.
Yep. I will. It's secreted away on my person. As soon as I get the quartermaster bundle, I will stick it deep inside it and try to make it look like it was in the bundle.
In the bundle? Okay, you like slide it into the bundle. As you kind of tuck it away, you grab your accoutrement, which I'll explain later. And nope, not that one. Nope. Yours is taking me longer to do because you have certain
I'm a
failures,
problem child.
which are an issue for me. Yes. So I don't think you did that. Yeah, fine.
So when did she get the knife?
I have absolutely no idea.
Why did she get the knife?
I have absolutely no idea.
They're gonna kill each other.
That I'm sure of.
Okay, all right. How do we not have that happen?
I don't know how to make her fall in line.
Like maybe we tell her that he said really nice things, and maybe you
I
tell
can see
him
that.
that she said really nice
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
Okay, let's try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Brilliant plan.
All right, so as you trudge through the snow and muck towards the officer's tent, you spot the cadet in the corner, and he's... And then you see him slide 2 pieces of paper forward to you. You were last, right? Okay.
I think I'll do this one.
So he kind of like pulls
Sir.
you in there, and he's like, yeah, you know, maybe it's not what you always wanted to be when you were growing up playing princess, but
It's not all princess, you know.
which part?
I mean, I did learn other things. And I have done things in the course of my life. I could be useful.
To whom?
A great number of people, I would imagine.
As what?
Well, hopefully eventually the head of my house.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, I mean, I am in the line.
You seem to avoid lines. Go ahead and roll me a D4. We're gonna do evens and odds on whether or not this one is coming to you or not.
3?
All right. So
I apparently should have grown up on a farm. You learn all sorts of useful skills on a farm, apparently.
oh yeah, like how to do push-ups.
Yeah.
Do them.
10? No, wait, let me guess. Sir, 20?
That was better. Yes, 20.
I rolled a 1. That's a 3.
The fatigue of the day is setting in on you. That and your malnourishment.
No, I had her dinner.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I also have been to the army and know they feed us. So as you push, you kind of like start to get this like stomach ache. You only make it through a little bit before some flatulence escapes, much to your dismay and the delight of the cadet, until the odor reaches him and he's like, no, just go. Just go. Just go. That's what happens when whatever happens, sir. And as you run out, swap back out, burst into the tent, trying to recompose yourself.
Okay, it's one of your turns, but you might want to give it a minute. Because reasons. I'm sure he'll understand.
Did he make you cry?
Shut up! I hate this place. Thank you, baby bird.
With you, as you strut into the tent, he's like, all right, I have high hopes for you. Try not to let me down.
She's the only one that succeeded most all of the weapons, right?
Yeah.
And all of the...
She's pretty much rocked everything.
I feel like you saw that coming.
You never know. I gave you a little bit of variety in that. If you had performed, if you had gotten the dex check, you would have had better options, I guess. Or
I'm pleased.
Okay, good. I was gonna say you'd have non-dwarven-esque options available.
Look, I'll be a stereotype just this once.
Indeed, you will.
Oh boy. Oh no.
It's just a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I don't know if I like these
stressy.
faces.
It's fun, but it's stressy.
Roll me a d4.
You got it. 3.
You also receive only 2 choices.
This is my surprise face. I hold back tears.
You hold back tears. Okay.
Aww.
Because I have a feeling that the officer or the cadet thinks I should be offended, but really I'm just so proud.
Okay. Interesting. You think he thinks that he's trying to offend you.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Interesting.
this is my choice.
So, with that, as you return, I'm not going to say what you actually got, but it ought to be relatively like obvious to anybody who knows D&D, because we're gonna reveal your classes tomorrow after you've got everything there. We'll do a little bit of we'll do a recap, we'll do an introduction, but essentially what we've seen here is an active version of a session 0, where you are collaboratively working on your backstories, and you came into it with no race selection, most everybody that follows instructions, and you had no race or species selected, you have no class selected, not even a background. You basically just came in with some terrible thing that you did in your past that led you to this moment. And this is the way that I like to do character creation, especially for campaigns that I know I'm going to be playing for a while. Because we had a 2-day event with this, I felt it would be really fun to give people an opportunity to see it.
Yeah.
And so with that, as you return from the quartermaster, you carry what is labeled like basically a brown paper wrapped with twine, little like with a card in it, and as you slide the card out, it says chaplain's assistant. And we'll leave that for tomorrow. Our second person coming back receives a little brown package tied with twine and the pretty much the most prominent piece of the garments is what kind of looks like you kind of peek inside a little bit, like a trench coat.
All right.
And a notebook.
Okay.
What?
A trench coat and a notebook. You got like a cassock, but military fatigue style. And a little, not a collar, but like cuffs. Next, you get, oh man, what is essentially just like a heavy, you know what? They just like send you back with a totally different set of clothing. This seems to be more like a scout or a skirmisher of sorts, but it's like slightly better camouflaged in certain ways than our other compatriots' gray attire. So like you essentially get like a trench coat of sorts. It's like a brown black, and it just would go right over your standard fatigues.
Got it.
Yours, you get like kind of black, an additional black like cuffs to yours, and also like a little notebook, but completely different. You come back with like a smaller, more compact bundle, but it's thicker. And really what you read out of it is like field manual, field manual, field manual, field manual, field manual, field manual. Tools. Like toolkit. And with that, we're gonna leave the mystery up for tomorrow. But as you all make your way back to the area, to the tent, you are given the reprieve to try to make your beds again and settle in for the night. It's a little late by the time that you all make it back. You don't really have the time to talk, as lights out has already happened. So you kind of make your way in. You get the drill sergeants to let you in, and you just go to your bunks individually as you make your way back separately from the quartermasters. And then in the wee early morning, you hear what essentially is, and I could use them now to do it, the deep echoing boom of what sounds like ordnance exploding some indistinguishable difference away. Like it almost sounds like it's happening only like maybe 20, 25 miles away. So very close. And with that, you awake with a start, your eyes wide, glancing around at each other, and you hear outside the wail of an alarm siren. And that's where we're going to stop for this evening. And we will pick up right there tomorrow.
Thank you.
When you have had the opportunity to take what is essentially a long rest and to go ahead and get your character sheets set and filled out. I hope you enjoyed watching this example of Dungeons and Dragons playing on a beautiful wormwood table with gorgeous level up dice. You can see their incredible booths back behind us. If you're coming to DreamHack tomorrow and maybe you thought you were just going to play some video games, you're in luck. You can get an amazing set of gaming equipment here.
Play some Adventures League.
And play some Adventures League. We do have an extra table set up for Adventures League. And if you were tuning in from anywhere else, why don't you go ahead and give us a watch tomorrow Again, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. We didn't figure out the other one, so you're going to do it for us if you're watching, as you're an insomniac or you're Atlanta there in Sydney, probably watching anyway, right? Hi, Atlanta. And with that, we'll talk to you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Why don't you go ahead and tell people who you are before we sign out?
Sure thing. Once again, I'm Emily from Level Up Dice. I'm the corporate manager. Oh, hi. And my character is Fiona Willoughby.
I am Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie, and I was playing Eltricia this afternoon. And did you want us to say where we can be found, or?
You know.
Catch me on Twitter at Goblin Katie.
Right. Also a cast member for D4.
Yes.
I am Diana D'Amico. I was playing Tala Thul. I'm also from Level Up Dice. Still.
Unless Alex has fired you in the last 4 hours.
I don't intend on checking my messages.
And I am Justice, and you can usually find me underneath those lights somewhere around the country any given weekend. And I am playing Roland Highgarden.
And with that, we will see you all tomorrow. I am Ruty Rutenberg. Oh man, you know what? Just whatever. Author and video game writer, and we're gonna go because we're a little over time already. So we'll see you guys a little bit later. Tune in again tomorrow. Very well done, everyone.